All right, fans, so we're going to go back here to our distance.
All right, everybody, welcome to Let's Grow Pulling. This is going to be the most important Let's Grow Pulling we've ever done, frankly, because of the big announcement that came out of Louisville is that legalized sports wagering is coming to the sport of truck and tractor pulling. Brett Yarn up there in the top middle, Charles Coach top right, Travis Schlabach, your Grand National Diesel Superstock champion, middle left, Adam Bauer, you've won more Grand National Championships in different classes. You're like my hero. Tyler Slagh, by far the most beautiful beard and Goldilocks that there is in the sport of tractor pulling. Jeff Hirt, I don't know what to say about Jeff Hirt. I've already had a couple of people say they want to wager on how fast you get off your tractor after your pass. And Doug Borth. What, Jeff? What?
I am getting older.
I am getting older. And Doug Borth, my general manager of the Beer Money Pulling team, brought big name pullers on. We brought our pulling heroes on tonight to talk about pull bets and what legal sports wagering is going to do to this, what it's going to do to the sport of truck and tractor pulling. I do, right out of the gate, I want everybody to know that I'm not paid, Brent's not paid, Charles isn't paid, Travis, Adam, Tyler, Jeff, Doug. None of us are paid by full. That's what? Oh, Jeff, it's under the table, buddy. It's under the table.
No.
No, but none of us are employees. None of us have contracts. Nothing. We are advocates of polling. Our podcast is called Let's Grow Polling. We've been doing this every Monday night, I think, since 2013 or 2014. And this is the biggest thing that's came to the sport of truck and tractor polling, to take it to the next level, to bring eyeballs. And we're going to carry that torch, all of the polling media, and keep people talking about this, about full pull bets and legal sports wagering coming to the sport while Gaming Commission passes through everything. Chase Richardson is the PR guy. And if any poller wants to talk to Chase directly, he'll talk to you on the phone. Just reach out to Chase. And Chase made that very, very clear at the rollout on Thursday afternoon down in Louisville from 2 to 4 at the Pullers happy hour. So it's just, this is going to be the best thing. It's going to bring more eyeballs. And it's going to be very similar to horse racing, okay? There's a reason that the horse at the Kentucky Derby gets paid $2 million. And it's not because people like to watch horses run around in circles. It's because of legal sports wagering. And that is coming to the sport of truck and tractor pulling. And I don't know, Travis, Adam, Jeff, were you guys at the rollout on Thursday afternoon when Chase was talking?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. What was your overall reaction? I mean, there's a lot of negativity on pulloff.com and Facebook, but there's also a lot of positive stuff too. And I feel like there's a lot of like misinformation. I mean, I've read some really, really stupid comments, and and I know that some people just do that to make stupid comments because that's who they are. And I'm not gonna. I want to open up pulloff.com and just roll through them and just kind of poke at people, but that's not very professional. I'd like to take this high and keep it high as we can, and and just talk about the importance of it. I can't think, guys, and you guys jump in. Adam, Tyler, Jeff, Travis. I want to know what you're hearing from pullers, what you're hearing from fans, and what you personally think full pull bets is going to bring to the sport of truck and tractor pulling. So whoever wants to go first.
I think it's going to be great. You go to like a dirt track race or anything, and even if you don't know any of those guys, I mean, you get a couple people throwing $5, picking a car, and before you know it, everybody's invested, everybody's watching it, everybody's hooting and hollering, people around you are wanting to get in on it, and I feel like it's only going to grow viewership. You can even look at the stats since sports betting's been legal for professional sports, ball sports, I'll say. Viewership has grown, and that's because if you're throwing money down on that, you're going to watch it, you're going to talk about it, people around you are going to do the same. I don't see the negative, personally.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, and if any, I want negative, I want questions, I want comments. Don't be afraid. Nobody was afraid to poke the bear earlier this week on all the social media posts and stuff like that. What questions you have, please type them into the comments. Adam, Bauer, what are you hearing from your friends, your fellow pullers, and what's your overall thought of this concept coming to the sport?
Well, as everybody knows, I live out in the middle of nowhere. We gamble every day, so everybody loves it. Even my brother-in-law is one of the biggest gamblers every day. He's betting on wheat. We don't even grow wheat or cotton or something. I mean, it don't matter. That's just the way it is. So as soon as we found out what was going to happen there, I mean, he's loving it. So, yeah, we're all in on it.
Yeah, Brett Yarn, what did your brother say to you?
Yeah, my brother cared any less about truck and tractor pulling, but he likes sports betting. And he told me, he's just like, oh, I'll start betting on it. And, I mean, it just takes, maybe he'll get invested into it now, but it just takes that one little thing to be able to flip somebody into a fan or get more people to, they tell their friends, their family about it. And now, it's just a domino effect from there. It's a great opportunity to get people that wouldn't otherwise know about the sport or even care about the sport to potentially become a lifelong fan.
Yeah, I mean, Vegas, from what I've been told, Vegas is excited about it because there's no NFL football, there's no college football, there's no real NBA basketball or college basketball in the summer. And this will be the first thing with motorsports where you're going to bet on one winner. And, and that's where the horse racing side of it's going to come. You're going to pick the winner. And that's kind of what's part of it. I think that's where they're excited about it. And, you heard Chase say it. They're going to crawl, they're going to walk, and then they're going to run into this with full pull bets. But I read something online that there's going to be bookies at the polls. No, it's an app, you guys. It's going to be like FanDuel. It's going to be like, I don't know, all the Bet MGM Grand, all the different commercials like that. They legalized gambling in the States, I think, in 2018. And I have a lot to learn about all this yet. But really tonight, just more about education and talk about this. And then money is going to go back to the pullers. Okay. Money is going to go back to the associations, but they can't tell you how much and when yet, because they need to get going. Okay. But they're not doing this. The people are doing this when to grow the sport. That's why they reached out to Chase, because he's obviously a puller and he knows everybody, and he's going to be the public relations arm of it. And he truly wants to grow the sport as well. So that makes me excited. Jeff Hirt, what are you hearing, feeling, seeing from your friends? What have you been seeing on social media?
There's a lot of excited people. I mean, there's a lot of questions, but the biggest thing I see, it's a whole new audience, a different group that can be involved and would not have been involved otherwise.
Yeah, agreed. What was the overall, like, after Travis, you were at the rollout on at the Pullers Happy Hour. The room was really engaged. Like, yeah. I had a wireless microphone, and Chase had asked me, hey, if I talk too much or if it gets a little dry, have a little fun with it. Or he wanted me to do some door prizes. Travis, I read that room, and for 30 minutes, people were locked in on Chase.
You gotta, as a puller, I think everybody, there was 8 million ideas of what this was going to be, because you guys were pretty confidential out of, which respectfully so. But if you walked into that room open-minded, we as pullers have invested $0. We have invested 0 time, and we've invested 0 effort. So at that 2 o'clock meeting to 3 o'clock, the only thing I had invested in receiving more money was 1 hour of my time, and I got a free beer over it. So I couldn't go wrong. And that's what my biggest thing to everybody was, is as pullers, we have nothing to lose by this because we've never put no effort into it.
Right.
So if we don't get $20 out of this the first year, well, so be it. We didn't put no effort into it. But I do believe, then the question, all the negativity comes, well, how are you guys going to get money? How are you going to get money? Well, they're going to give it back to the organization. Well, they'll just pocket it. Well, they'll pocket it. Well, how do you know that? I was talking to one of the organization members and said, I think I'll probably give a lot of that money, or majority, all of it, whatever percentage that is, back to the promoter. And I hope that the following year he can turn around and give it in increased payout to all the pullers. They're still going to be, and that gentleman I was talking to was like, my funds are going to increase because people are going to buy more live stream. It cost me X amount of dollars to produce live stream, and now I'm going to sell more live stream. That's the money also that he's going to make. So he said, I can justify sending this money down to the promoter, we may end up with a bigger show. We may end up with bigger purses. The bigger purses are going to bring more tractors. And one thing I said, I suppose the one open-minded thing I said is, don't just make first place bigger. Don't come out and put $20,000 to win the diesel superclass. Pay out all the way down through, because we got to have the guys, the 2nd through the 10th got to show up, so we've got a good show to put on for the fans. But that's just a suggestion. Go out, work with it. But to me, there is not one single negative towards this because we have 0 effort put into it.
Yep. And I think, and if you're totally anti, like to Travis's point, you just want to go tractor pulling, you want to go truck pulling, you can still go truck pulling and still tractor pulling. And the purse is this is going to grow the sport. I mean, I've never been this more confident about anything in my life because of legal sports wagering. Nobody gives a shit about Maryland versus Rhode Island on a Sunday night on a college basketball game, unless it's the last thing on the book. Okay, that's just how it works. And for people that want to gamble and want to do that, and I want to know how many people are watching the show right now that here, Tim Wolf watches our show every week. He says NASCAR betting on DraftKings. He lost $200 on Joey Logano. So I want to know how many people are already betting on FanDuel, DraftKings.
Glad he did.
All these different things. I'm glad he did. So, but
and the betting thing has been out there, and I've heard the negative. This is a kids sport. This is a kids event, and it's going to ruin the kids program. There ain't a fan out there that if I had free Super Bowl tickets next year that says well, I'm not going to take my kid to the Super Bowl because somebody's betting on it in Las Vegas. Come on, it's a sport. You're not forcing them to do it. You know, and Jason, I know you are pumped up that this is going to bring a bunch of money to the pullers. I don't foresee it for a year, 2, 3 years.
Yeah.
You're right. I think it's going to come, but it's going to take a little while. But back to my earlier statement, we have zero invested. So if it takes time, it takes time. And, but you know, it's just, I can't see a negative to it. I mean, you take my son, he's 25, 26 years old, somewhere in there. Them kids are on their phone in the middle of a football game, betting this, covering the spread. I ain't even going to pretend I know what they're doing because I don't. I went to Vegas one time, sat and watched me and Profab watched Monday Night Football at Circa, and all I did is kept losing money all night on more bets.
Yep.
So I'm no good at it.
Again, questions, guys. I mean, I've read a lot of stuff on the internet, good and bad, or you know, everybody's thoughts is. I bring it out. We have your heroes. We have your Grand National, your champions who are pullers on the screen with us right now, and they're going to ask you your questions and how that makes them feel. These guys are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars every year, if not millions, to go tractor pulling, to win $1,500, to win $2,000. Okay, so that I really want to get into that. There was a question about ownership, and I have the end. Okay, who's behind it? It seems secretive, or I just missed it. It's a group of people that specialize in the gaming industry, Brad. And that's there's a guy out of Vegas. I think there's a guy out of Florida. Again, I don't know exactly, but they targeted in on pulling. They reached out to Chase Richardson. Asked him if he thought it'd be a good idea. And
today it don't matter who owns it.
What's that?
Today it don't matter who owns it.
Right.
The only thing that matters is they're going to give money back to this sport. I mean, and they don't have to. At the end of the day, they don't have to. Right. I mean, they're willing to though. So
I love
them. If they're making money, we're making money.
I love when I hear
we
that
might
comment.
not be making money, but we're making more than
losing less.
Yeah, and you know, we all gamble. Every one of us pullers on this show, every one of the pullers every night gambles every time we leave the shop headed for the pull. You know, we don't know what happens.
Last week, Travis might have been cheaper to bring the tractor down. For me.
You gamble every day in your business.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Take a farmer who's gambling when he drops the seed in the ground and hopes for the best. You know, it's just, that's what it is. And that's where I go back to is we have no effort, no money, no time invested in it. We cannot go wrong on this. I think the negatives, you know, I had people come up, well, how are they going to prove that it's rigged? How are they going to do this? I said, I don't know, but they caught Pete Rose after a while, didn't they?
Yeah. When I talked to Chase and those guys, you'd have to get all the pullers in a room, okay, which would be illegal as all hell and like a federal crime. And then Travis, you'd have to look at Burge, you'd have to look at Stevie and go, Steve, you're going 250. Payne, you're going 260. DeMars, you're going 270 if you can go that far. I need Mike Beck, I need you to go 290, and I'm going to lay one out there, and we're all going to bet in on me. Okay.
And you got to have a crystal ball to see whose rods are coming out.
Yeah, there's not a chance in hell that's working out.
Right. But to me, that's the point. You know, that's the point. And I've been reading through all these comments. You know, Charles has read through some comments. Charles and I had some private conversations. Brent, Doug, and I, you know, to get prepped up for this show. Again, we're not paid by Full Pull Bets. We have no contract to get paid by Full Pull Bets. We just think this is the biggest thing. I don't know. I mean, in our lifetime, can you think of anything that's came out that's unified all three associations? The PPL said, I'm in. The Outlaws said, I'm in. The NTPA said, I'm in. Those three people are in the room. They were all at the Pullers Happy Hour, and they were freaking smiling. Okay? I have not seen Greg Randall this happy in a long time. He knows that this is something. Because he's a big Raiders fan, and that's his own fault for being a Raiders fan. But people, you would only care about the team you liked if it wasn't for legal sports wagering. And now you're going to start caring about tractor guys are going to care about trucks. I mean, that's a big deal. And truck guys are going to care about tractors because they do. You guys, and if all of a sudden some $10,000 bet comes flying in on Schlabach to win when he hasn't won a hook all year because he keeps doing whatever happened at Louisville, and you know, it's Denny Healy betting on him out in Ringo, Iowa, they don't have to accept the bet. That's simple. I mean, they don't have to accept the bet. That's where this is legalized sports wagering, guys. This isn't the back alley between Marengo and Victor, Iowa, Schlabach drinking beer at 4 a.m, you know, just kicking the can down the road. This is a legalized sport wagering complex. I mean, the amount of money that's been invested in this already, guys, is insane.
It'd probably be insane if we knew how much money was flying around Freedom Hall or this weekend betting.
Yeah.
I mean, there was every little corner of that stand, there was $100 flying on every class. $100 is probably on the low end.
Yep.
I told me he won $4,000 on the pro stock bet.
I know of one person who publicly was complaining about this, and in the suite they were making the bets.
Well, I think, Doug, to your point, I think somebody's afraid or somebody's jealous that somebody else is going to make some money. And I giggle when I hear that. If you're a farmer, your seed corn dealer makes money off of you. Your fertilizer dealer makes money off of you. The guy who sells your equipment makes money off of you. Nobody works for free. But yet somebody's jealous or somebody's pissed because these guys were smart enough to go, you know what? Kind of got this football thing figured out. We kind of got this basketball thing figured out. What else is out there that we could make some money off of? Okay, let's check out this tractor pulling thing. Well, hell, I don't know what tractor pulling is. To Brent Yaren's point, his brother doesn't even like the sport. But hell, if I could throw $20 or $100 down on Tyler Slagh to win at Farley, okay, that's what they're going to do. That's what they're going to do. So
I don't understand people all of a sudden being against gambling when they had the raffle tractor and Simon's raffled that off. I mean, that's a small example of gambling, people taking a chance at winning that, and it blew up. People loved it. Everybody was all about it. Like, how is this not that on a larger scale? I mean, that was wonderful for the sport. If you've got 80-year-old women gambling in a bingo hall, guess what? Bingo's gambling. Nobody's against that. Everybody's having a good time. Like, what's the big deal?
No, 100% agreed. And that was one of the things, and Chase talked about RJ doing that. Remember, I think those spots were sold out in a couple of days, if I remember. Charles or Brent, do you remember like that waffle? We called
like 2 hours.
It was quick.
And all of a sudden, RJ went quiet. And everybody's like, well, RJ just can't run off with $250,000. RJ's probably doing okay for money because it's for sale, but it's not on sale.
We're just
right?
waiting for him to do it again.
He ran into a state of Iowa gaming commissioner and found out that he needed a license, and he got it all set up, and it took about a year, but he got it done. And that's the thing.
I'd say that was one of them jealous naysayers that caused that problem.
Oh, I don't know the behind the scenes of it, Jeff, but probably. So that would suck that somebody would do something like that, but.
And we have a hard enough time, we've had this conversations about, this will throw a whole nother wrench in it, but teching certain people in certain classes, random tech, whatever, and I've said for years, go to the driver's meeting, have 15 balls in a bucket, somebody reach in and grab one out, they grab out number 5, that person goes through the tech barn. There is no way you can choose where you're going to finish. There is no possible way. The only position you can make sure you don't get is first. Because you might think, well, Schlabach will be out there. Schlabach, I'll stick back here in the back, and I might blow it up right on the line, and that just screwed your whole program up. So it's still, I don't see how any of us pullers could manipulate it. I work too goddamn hard to go out and not win. So I'm going for the win every time. So, and there's nobody in our class that's, unless you're betting on me being last, and I don't think they'll throw that bet out there. But that can happen a lot.
From what I've been told, you're going to bet on the winner. There's going to be no parlays, none of that stuff out of the gate. And it's only going to be, I'm looking through some of the questions. There's no launch date. The goal is hopefully in 2023. The gaming commissions, from what, again, I've been told, are kind of working through this to make sure, to Travis's point, how can you cook it? How can you cook the books, if you will? Because this is the first time a motorsport has ever come to something like this. And no offense, truck and tractor pulling yet isn't exactly nationwide. It's very niche-y. You know what I mean? It's very into our people that know it. Now, the one thing I've seen multiple times is, and I need to ask Chase about this and the team, like if you were at the farm show this weekend, you notice how the internet got worse on your phone every day as more and more people got there. If you're trying to place a bet, that could suck. And I got to ask Chase how they handle something like that. But I don't know 100% how that works. And I don't know how they're going to set the odds yet and different things like that. And once it passes gaming commission, then they're going to do a really big push on educating you, the consumer, the gambler, the person who's going to place that wager on that truck or that tractor. It'll be taught out there on all of that stuff. Adam Bauer, I saw a comment today that somebody was said that this could cause death threats to poolers. They actually, are you scared, Adam Bauer, that if somebody bets on you and then you actually have a bad run and you don't win, does somebody come to the trailer and kick your ass? Or
No, that's what I got Truckee around for.
I was going to say, I think he'll have your back.
No, and I just
even need Truckee.
That is the last thing crossing my mind right now. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I just read some of these comments and I just don't know where they're coming
The
from. Or how they're coming
stupidity of some of that stuff. I mean, if they're not betting on pulling, they're going to be betting on basketball, whatever. What's the difference? I mean, he has a bad run, I do, whoever. If they bet too much, that's not our fault. That's on them. It's unfortunate, but it's part of gambling.
Yep. Well said. Colin Burkholt says, and I don't quite understand this question. Could there be an issue like college with NIL? You guys know what that means?
No, that's name, whatever. That's the biggest joke that college ever screwed up. So that's the worst.
Is that name and likeness thing?
Yep. So that means, because we're self-funded. We own it ourselves. You know, when you go to college sports, the college team owns you. But no, that's
the booster owns you.
Yeah, the boosters own you. Yeah. So no, it's a whole different world, and the plus is still, if we get $100 more, we're great.
Yep.
And they can bet. I think a lot of people are thinking that you got to be at.
Hey, Travis, we only get $100 out of this deal. I'm going to donate it back to it.
But I think a lot of people are thinking, well, the internet's got to be perfect there. I think the people that are running this, they're not planning on just the people at that event to do the bet. These people are
missing that.
Everybody in the United States. Like I said, you get that crew of my kids running around, and I'm telling you what, I'd hate to have been around them guys on Super Bowl Sunday. I'll bet they were betting all night long. You know, I mean, I'll guarantee you they were betting on whether her clothes were going to stay on the whole halftime show or not. They thought they might be a wardrobe malfunction.
They didn't know she was pregnant, did they?
They get all the
You'd have still looked at them.
Would have had to. See,
like this. I don't
verification
for science.
So I don't know.
Science. Oh shit.
How small is the betting going to go? I mean, from what I've been told, it's going to roll out at all the big events, your big grand national NTPAs, your PPLs, your big outlaw events. And their goal is eventually this can work its way down into the regions and some of the local clubs, once it all gets ironed out. And, that'll be the running part of it once it gets to that level.
And I had heard, and I don't know if this is 100% true, I had heard that the event had to be live streamed. So you're not going to see it at my Marengo, Iowa County tractor pull, until that event gets bigger. I mean, I would say it's 10, 15 years away, before that. But I think, you look at how many NTPA events, I think almost all of the Grand National events are live streamed. I'm assuming Outlaws the same way, PPL Champion Tour. You're not going to see it down at the Jones County Fair or them. I don't foresee seeing that for 5 to 10 years.
Every outlaw event is live streamed on Outlaw Pulling TV. But Travis, if this takes off, like, again, I'm hyped up about this, Travis, because I haven't seen anything like this come around that's really going to bring outside eyeballs to the sport. And I know what eyeballs bring: more sponsorship dollars, more marketing dollars to the promoters,
working on another board,
to all the stuff. But you can get live stream equipment. It's not impossible anymore today, Travis. Right. for an ECI. I don't know if it has to be live streamed or not for sports wagering on it. But if it does, it's not as hard to do that, Travis, as it even was 5 years ago, buddy. So,
but that's going to take a little effort. It's going to take a program. But what that's going to do is eventually that will help every local organization. I mean, you guys, we can go back to when live streaming first came out. Remember all the negativity that how it was going to hurt the promoters because all the fans were going to stay home.
Yeah.
Well, I think in my opinion, the live streaming has not hurt the promoters. So number one, it's another revenue source. You have an expense to it, but it's another revenue source. But they found out the same people that wanted to come to the stands, they're still in the stands. And then you pick up all the buddies back home sitting in the bar that are doing nothing, that are going to sit there and watch it live stream. And then what they're going to do is they're going to start grab their phone because they got this app. And in 12 clicks, we just picked somebody for the next poll, probably closer to 4 clicks.
Yeah.
So
the thing I think we're missing on that, I think it's going to be a whole new group that's doing the betting, not included in the normal people that would pay or even would watch it. And now you got different sponsors because you got different viewers. I think that's where it's going to gain a lot of ground.
And that's where, Travis said, I was so excited. I've been all hyped up about all this because of the, but I know what extra eyeballs, and to Jeff's point, it's going to bring more eyeballs. How do we grow polling now? We've talked about how social media has taken polling to the next level, but it can't take it much farther, guys. We still can't make people go to the polls, and we're not giving them like, oh, that was a cool wild ride video or a wreck video. But this is something that, you know what? My cousin Ben might want to check this out now because, there's some skin in the game, and nothing makes you watch till the end of the basketball game or the end of the football game because you want to know that final score, that you bet on the over under, or you bet on the total, or you bet, you bet on that 7-point spread. And that's what legal sports wagering is going to do. But again, this is going to get rolled out from you're going to pick a winner. You're going to pick a winner. And that's what you're going to place your money on, is who's going to win the class that night. So that's from what I've been told.
And that betting that we were doing in Freedom Hall on Saturday night, that's still going to happen next year, the next 10 years, whether you got legalized betting. But to the person out there that says, well, this money will never go to the pullers, I'll bet you $100 that none of the pullers got any of that gambling money from Freedom Hall on Saturday night.
No.
So this will actually be a bonus to the pullers if we do get a little, or a lot, or all of it. I mean,
nobody walked up to you, Travis, and gave you $100 and say thanks for not making the finals, or
no, not have donated to Steve Burge.
Yeah. Poor Steve. That sucked.
That was ugly.
That was very ugly.
In my experience is, if this brings new people to the sport, 9 out of 10 people that, as a promoter or whatnot, that have come to an event and actually see it, that have never seen tractor pulling before, they're hooked because it's cool. And we should gain following fans as this is introduced to new people. And like the guy that made our t-shirts for Louisville, we're showing him videos and stuff, and he lives in the cities, and he was just in awe of what we do. So I think that's very good way to get more people involved, just to follow the sport in general.
And I was talking to somebody down at Freedom Hall or Broadbent there about the truck show coming up in April. And he said, the gentleman said, well, it was amazing how many people that were at the truck pull had never been to a truck and tractor pull, didn't know what it was. Just that notoriety, that going to that one event there at the truck show, they thought it was cool. So when that semi, they're going across country and they're delayed for a day picking up a load, and they pick up social media because Schultz has got it everywhere. And they're like, there's a truck and tractor pull 10 miles from me. I can get an Uber and head over there. That's that extra person in the stands that we're looking for. Well, the social media is going to pick up, and they're getting to open them up to see this one event.
Trav, and to your point, we were down in Zellwood, Florida a couple weeks ago, and there was a trucker that saw one of our videos on TikTok, and he just needed a place to park his truck because he wanted to watch the pull Saturday night. I mean, that's just how that works. And back to the Mac Trailer Winter Nationals, and I'm not a big trucker, but I talked to some of the guys that were there last year and the gals, and it was a different feel. Like the crowd was a little more engaged. The truckers hadn't been to a big truck and tractor pull like that before. So, it was some new eyeballs to the sport and something like that. So
it was definitely a different crowd there.
What's that, Jeff?
It was definitely a different crowd.
Yep. And that's good. Is there any connection to any of the big sports books like FanDuel? No. The Full Pull Bets is going to be its own thing. You're going to have an app on your phone called Full Pull Bets. You'll log in. I'm assuming your credit card's hooked up to it or whatever, or your funds, and you're gonna see the pulls that are on the screen, and then away we go. Away we go from there. So, Adam Bauer, Chuck Hobbs says he'll drive your RX in the background. Do you need anybody to come drive that, Adam?
Always looking for somebody to drive it. When they say it, they don't ever show up.
Okay. I'm afraid Chuck might be there tomorrow, so I'm just going to give you a heads up on that.
Well, we don't need them tomorrow.
Okay, fair enough. Timothy Wolf says, what would the format be similar to Pick'em contest? Yeah, you're going to pick a winner. You're going to pick a winner, and that's how it's from what I've been told. Once it's legal, or once it's past the gaming commissions, then you're going to see Full Pull Bets do a big education process on how this is going to work. So,
that can grow, that can move, that can do anything. I mean, it might be the first year, and they come out and say, "Hey, here's a bet that Adam's going to get in the top 5." Here's a bet, whatever. That bets may come out there. It ain't like it's locked into stone. Look at what you can bet on the Super Bowl. I mean,
hell, you can bet the color of the Gatorade they throw on the coach at the end.
And you can't tell me that somebody couldn't rig that, I mean, these boys are going to look into this. We're not, there's guys that keep an eye on this all the way through the United States of America and the world. They're going to look this over. It's not going to be easy to rig it.
No.
Everybody that has a vehicle works hard, has a good job to be able to do this. They're not going to risk that position to be in jail for trying to rig a damn poll for a little bit of money.
Right. And and it is a federal offense too. So jail sucks. So, yep.
Yeah, I dream of the day where we can bet on what cylinder number rod gets shit out onto the track when somebody wins Bowling Green.
That's a hell of a lot easier to rig.
I love that.
Jeremy Yeager says, on the drive to Louisville, I looked at DraftKings thinking that maybe the farm show pool would be there. There are plenty of people who enjoy gambling responsibly that don't care about basketball, football, or baseball. This is a great way to boost popularity. And I really want to circle back to think of horse racing. Okay, this is going to be similar to horse racing. And if you're not familiar with horse racing and that side of it, but that's what it is. Money, the horse I think Chase told me the horse at the Kentucky Derby wins $2 million because of the amount of money that's bet. Okay. I'm not saying there's going to be a $2 million purse to win Bowling Green in the diesel superstock class, but if you ever want to have a chance to move this sport, a movement, and that's what we want to talk about, is this is a movement to move this sport from a hobby to a professional sport. I don't know anything else that could do it at this point, unless somebody wins that $1 billion Powerball and just starts giving all the money back to the pullers. So, but this is legit.
Everybody on the negative people, they all say, well, we just need more money in the purse. We need more money. Well, you know what? None of them have come up with an idea to tell us how we're going to do it. This is a great idea. Let's go with it. Let's see where it goes. And there's no negative to it.
Yep, I agree.
It's the best idea we've had all year.
Yep. Roy Conard says, not against it, but how will this benefit the pullers? How will this bring more money to the winnings? Well, Roy, money that is wagered is going to be put back into the purses and the promoters. They can't give any percentages yet, different things like that, but it's going to be similar to horse racing on that avenue. So,
and I think they're required by law to pay back to the event or the association somewhere in there.
Yeah, I think you're right on that.
It has to go back to whoever is hosting the event.
Down in Iowa, when we used to have horse racing there in Des Moines, there at Prairie Meadows or whatever. I think it was that horse racing or dog racing. I don't remember. Whatever.
It's still there.
Yeah, it's still there. A part of that. So my accountant,
it ain't went broke yet, Trav.
My accountant from Grinnell there, he's big into the watch here flea market, and if you've ever been to the flea markets, that thing is nationwide. But I asked him, this is what nationwide flea markets in a town of 800 people that has zero attraction to it. But I said, what keeps that thing alive? And he said, well, it's got a horse track. So since they got a horse track, they run a few events in there. Well, then all of that major money that is spent in Des Moines then gets passed around to all the smaller facilities in the state. And that's what keeps them going, so they can still promote this huge flea market 2-3 times a year. I mean, and it's just amazing. So that when you actually start talking like the Bowling Green guys about the financial impact to the area of Bowling Green and how many times that money is spent before it leaves the area, it's millions of dollars of what Bowling Green does to Bowling Green, Ohio. So that's what I feel this betting's going to do. It's going to help everything. Our local casinos down here, Riverside, Tama, whatever, they're constantly investing money into their county. They, like you said, there's some laws out there, percentages that they have to put back into the community. So, and that's all part of the Iowa, the legalized gaming, whatever. So I'm sure the lawyers and all of them guys know all about this, but if Rockwell, Iowa has this event and that county brings in X amount of gambling dollars, that can also help more events in that community. So it's a win-win that goes all, it might help events in the state. It isn't like, I think some people think that the people that own this are going to make 100%. Well, I don't think that's it. And I don't know if you've ever been to Vegas, but it takes a lot of dollars to keep all them light bulbs on. You know, they don't keep them on because we're paying every bettor out there. Everybody that goes to Vegas makes $1,000 when they leave. A lot of people do make money. Well, I never do. I'm the loser.
You guys, a horse racing owner, they own a horse and they actually make money off the horse, and they're investing the same amount of money, I guarantee, to keep a horse trained as we are as pullers. We're not making any money as pullers. We're doing this as hobby, fun, passion, stupidity, whatever you want to call it. But racehorse owners buy horses to make money, and they make money because of sports wagering. And that's really that simple. I mean, if I could break it down into a nutshell, I guarantee it costs a lot of money to keep a horse alive. It costs a lot of money to keep the Bone Twister alive, Tyler's Minis, Adam Bauer's fleet of pull-in tractors, Jeff Hirt's mini rods and unlimited supers. It costs a lot of money. And you guys, they're not making any money. Okay. They're doing it because they love it. Okay. But if they can start doing it and they start making a little money, like Jeff said, it costs less, to keep these things going. That's what's going to be going. And that's what's kept horse racing alive all these years. Because who else? I'm not a big horse racing fan, but if you can go and gamble on it and throw $100 down on it and win the Derby and wear a fancy straw hat or whatever that thing's called and drink a couple bubblies or whatever. So that's what makes it fun. So,
yeah. If horse racing fans can see the opportunity there, our fans have got to be smarter than horse people. Come on.
And I'll bet you 80% or 90% of the people that go to the Kentucky Derby this year have not sat down and did numeral research on what horse I should bet on in every race. I mean, some do. There's people out there that study it, but some people are like, yep, I'm just going to pick a name and we're going to go with it.
And suddenly you're interested. Suddenly you're watching it.
Yep, that's the one I picked, the last place one. Just fell down and broke his leg. Yep, that was mine.
Fell down, broke his leg.
The thing that I look at is like in the Super Bowl. You could say half the people watch because of commercials or just because they're there for the party. You got a quarter of the other half that's watching because they actually care about the NFL or the two teams that are in there. And the other quarter is watching because they want to know what color Gatorade got poured on the coach at the end of the game.
Right.
So from that aspect, when you talk about from the promoter side, is I get more bodies in the seats, which that's, you talk to any promoter, how do I get more seats in the stands? You talk to, how do I get more sponsorship? We talk to more live streams. Like that's where I see the upside of, you got three organizations that are working together to, how do we make this better from the promoters to the pullers, a whole circle. So.
And what Jason's doing with Beer Money and the Outlaw, the live stream, the NTPA, the live stream, when you start putting them packages together and walk in into, I don't care, Pepsi Cola, Coca-Cola, Reese's, they're looking at, well, this doesn't automatically mean Budweiser's going to be the new sponsor for Bauer Polling, but it's certainly when you start bringing them numbers together, it's going to open people's eyes, NASCAR is struggling right now. The writing's on the wall. And I think some of that is they priced themselves completely out of the market. So there's an opportunity. I'm not going to say we're going to jump right in and take over where they were at, but they're going out the top end and we're coming in the bottom end. We'll pick up a couple stragglers that were maybe just on the fender of that, Matt Kenseth car. Hey, we still want to get our name out there. How can we get our name? Well, Jason, you can get them out there. The live stream can get them out there, and then you're throwing realistic numbers, real numbers at them of communications. And why are we getting these real numbers? Because now we've got sports betting that we drew that extra crowd in.
Yeah, I think Travis, to your point, when we can combine this social media reach, because people just made fun of beer money for about the first 5 years of this social media thing. And then about 5 years ago, people started saying, maybe there's something to this. And then in the last couple of years, like, holy crap, social media is a big deal. And when we can throw numbers like that out there, and you bring in the legalized sports wagering and the live stream, now you can really sit down with, a big sponsor, maybe. And I know, I don't remember the Redman days. I mean, I do as a kid or whatever, but Greg Randall's told me stories where they ran out of Redman, at one of those first events. Like, they had a truckload of it. They were giving it to the little kids. Mom was grabbing 5 packets of it, back to the stuff and different things like that. So.
Remember them days.
Well, and from a sponsorship standpoint, imagine being the person that's trying to sell a sponsor to come on board. You're not only saying that you've got more viewers, but you can also prove that your demographic you're drawing is willing to spend money because they're on the app and being interactive. That demographic is going to be worth so much more to advertisers than just another viewer. It's a viewer that will spend.
Yeah. And then what's cool is we're the first motorsport to get in on this. And you guys, in 10 or 15 years, you're going to be able to bet or wager on everything. And the fact that polling's getting on this, or before NASCAR, before NHRA, that's exciting before anything else. I mean, because we've always kind of been polling's always kind of been the little brother, the little stepbrother of an NHRA, of a NASCAR, of these big national associations. We've never got the TV time that they've had. Nobody really knows who Jeff Hirt looks like. We just see him come flying off his tractor. Nobody know what Adam Bauer looks like because nobody sees him on TV. We get a chance, there's a chance to do this now.
Just sitting here thinking about it right now, that's where we need to, whether you want to look at Outlaw, PPL, or NTPA, right now the biggest challenge they got right now is promoting this live streaming and everything, because that's only going to benefit us more. The more places you can watch that's going to benefit us. And that's where right now all them 3 organizations need to be figuring out how to get that done. And just looking at it right now.
Well, you're right, Bauer. You're spot on. Evan Cricky wants to know, do I have to pay taxes on this? I would assume once you hit a certain dollar amount, you're going to have to pay taxes. So yeah. It's legalized sports wagering. This is not back alley Sally taking a bet. So.
It's the same as you go
pay
to
taxes to die. Why wouldn't you have to when you win?
Right. So I'm just trying to go through all this. Oh, yeah, Colin Burkle. It's like no one ever did the 50-50 raffle, but now morals come into play.
Yeah, exactly. How many people have bought like a raffle ticket to win a rifle to support somebody in their community for this and that? That's all perfectly okay. But now all of a sudden, gambling's the devil. I don't get it.
Give me that last scratch off at the corner. And
the extra money to pullers will be increased viewership, correct? The pullers won't actually receive any revenue from the game. No, actually, they're going to receive money back from full pull bets, back into the purses, back to the promoters, and back to the association. The money will filter back to the pullers. They're not doing this just for themselves. They're doing this to give back to the pullers, the people who actually make the money on that. And then,
there's a lot of haters that hate to hear that right now. That just ruined their night.
Well, it's the truth. It's the honest to God truth. Mr. Pulltown Campgrounds watching on YouTube. My first thought is, can the blue shirts work with full pull bets to have a certain small amount of pull bets during the week to go to a charity? Yeah, we'll worry about that later.
But that's what they can do, Jason, is just that. If NTPA says, hey, we brought in X, I'll throw a number out there, $100,000, we're giving that back to the promoter. That blue shirts, they make that decision of what they do. So if they want to hand $30,000 to Make-A-Wish, they're in a puller that's going to argue it.
Right.
If they want to get most of these promoters aren't pocketing this money, just going to Tahiti and having another vacation.
No.
All of that money, typically, they look at Bowling Green, look at everything they promote and put money back into the facility. Look at Rockwell, Iowa, they're still paying for their swimming pool up there that they committed X amount of dollars for so many years to the swimming pool. These organizations are not doing this just to take a big fat check home. It's doing it to make the community better. And all this betting is going to do is put it back in. But we all got lottery, Powerball, whatever. I don't play the Powerball until it gets up to like 800 million. I mean, I wouldn't want to win the Powerball at 70 million. You know,
me
so that's
neither.
how poor of a bettor I am.
Oh God, Travis, that's funny. Charles, you have not said a word. I need you to say something, Charles.
As I told you on the phone last night, Jason, like I'm not a sports bettor. I'm not a guy who's ever done it, but I got some buddies who are big into it. NFL's a big deal for them. They do fantasy leagues and they bet on the games besides that. And I'll tell you, like if you run into one of them on a Friday, that's all they're talking about. And on Monday, that's all they're talking about as well. I get the excitement and the passion that derives from it. I am excited by the idea that the three organizations have come together around this. I've got no problem with anybody who wants to participate in it. Am I going to be one who does it? No, probably not. But I'm certainly not going to stand in the way of anybody who wants to. I've got Chase's number. Have not reached out to him to talk to him because I think for him, there's like we've said, there's only so much he can say or how much he even knows until he completes that the regulatory process. You know, my day job, I hold a job. I've got to have a license to even perform my responsibilities every day, and it's heavily regulated. What they're doing with this is no different. So, I'm kind of in a wait and see mode to see what it's all going to look like.
Yep, fair enough. Okay, so let's be real. Adam Bauer is not very big on social media. How did we get him on Let's Go Pulling tonight? So, Travis, did you drive up there and smack him around a little bit, or Hurt? Did you call him?
I was amazed. I thought, man, there's no way you'll get Adam Bauer on Let's Go Pulling.
Adam's always on Facebook.
I must like the guy.
Adam, I know what you call Facebook in real life, so I don't want to say it on the show, but it's pretty. But we're not just on Facebook tonight. We're on Twitter. We're on YouTube. We're on everything, Adam. So. No, but
I hear you. No, hey, it is one of the things when Chase, I probably knew about this probably about the time you did, and I don't know. I don't see how it's going to hurt this pulling at all. I mean, and like Travis says, we got nothing invested, and then you know what? If we don't get no money out of it, we're still going to go pulling. So it ain't like it's going to get hurt. I mean, because we're dumb enough to do that.
Every day.
That's what they said. Roy keeps asking how much money is going to go back to the pullers. They don't know yet. It's going to be a percentage. They're going to crawl, they're going to walk, and then they're going to run. But they have guaranteed the NTPA and the PPL and the Outlaws, you guys, would not be behind this. For this, if there wasn't any money coming back to the associations and the pullers, I can promise you that. Okay.
Again, anything is better than nothing.
Yep.
And the betting crew has to have the organizations behind them, so they're not going to stiff them. Because you got to have the live stream, whatever, and all of a sudden, I'll just pick it. It doesn't matter. One of the polling organizations said, I didn't get no money from them last year. Well, then you can say, hey, we're not participating. So they need us as bad as we need them. And, it's just, that's the way that whole thing works. Jeff the bail on his tractor after a big bang.
It's really not the first time a tractor pull has been stiffed on the sponsorship either, has it?
Right.
I mean,
Here's the owner of the Outlaws, Kurt Van Beek. People who will cheat for no money, and people with integrity and who care about the reputation will not cheat for any amount of it. So that's well said, Kurt. So it's all good. I'm just trying to go through. Yeah, Tim, it's a straight money line. You're going to pick a winner. I do have a question for Adam. If Full Pull gets stickers out there, will they get put on the sleds? I don't know.
You're going to have to ask Big about that.
Stickers on there. I don't want any competition.
It's going to cost you. That's all I know.
Yeah, that Bauer sponsorship is pretty spendy.
Yeah, it is. Evan has asked 17 times, do I have to pay taxes on winnings? Yeah, you do, Evan.
Yes.
I don't know if you're not listening, but again, this is legalized sports wagering. So
Uncle Sam needs his cut.
Yep.
Okay, here we go.
So do the illegals.
That's right.
Gotta go to work.
Do you think all of the negativity was because of gambling, or possibly there was a lot of confusion and questions because there really isn't any details provided? I wasn't at the meeting, so maybe more was said. But as far as social media, there wasn't much. I think the delivery of a big announcement could be better. This is coming from someone who has zero opinion on the subject, just an observation, kind of like PPL's announcement could have been played out better too. Two announcements. Yeah. So Kendra, I'll help you answer that. If the Gaming Commission had this approved, there would be more details. Louisville was selected because it's the Super Bowl of polling. Everybody's there. And Full Pull Bets wanted to tell the pollers first. It was a high level question and answer session with them saying, hey, legalized sports wagering is coming to truck and tractor pulling, but you're not seeing anything from Full Pull Bets yet on social media, and you won't until it gets through the Gaming Commission, because that's what their attorneys are telling them. And Chase would love to be on the show tonight, would love to be on here and answer all your questions. But if you're a puller, reach out to Chase and he'll tell you everything he can tell you. So, but that's a really, really good point, Kendra. But we're giving you all we can based upon what we can, because this is legalized sports wagering. This is a big deal, and there are a lot of rules with that. So we, the Beer Money Pulling Team, can talk about this all we want, and we're going to. We're going to talk about it. We're going to keep it. We're going to keep it alive. We're going to keep it going. We're going to keep it active. But the whole idea of the big secret, that's what makes it fun. I mean, you guys, how many calls, Travis, Hirt, Bauer, Tyler, did you guys get going? Mike Witt, he chewed my ass because when I did the leak, because I didn't say this has nothing to do with the farm show. This has nothing to do with Louisville. Schultz, he goes, I've never got that many goddamn phone calls in my life in one day. I'm going to kick your ass when I see you. And Chase was mad as hell at me because I didn't tell Witt that was leaking out. And I didn't think of that. It was not on the Louisville grounds. It was at the Hilton Garden Inn, a half a mile from Broadbent, where the big announcement was made. But it was fun. It was fun. It had everybody guessing. And I can't comment on how PPL rolled out their launch and different things like that, because I wasn't involved with that. Chase reached out to me early on, said, you have a big following. We want you to talk about this on your show. And I said, I think this is the biggest thing for pulling. I actually came to the Outlaw Banquet to meet with me, and I signed a disclosure like this thick. And to get me to shut up, and you all know I love to talk, it takes attorneys saying, Schultz, you actually need to shut up this time. So that's
and to add to that, Jason, the social stuff had to be set up prior to. So when they did let this go, that stuff was already established for advertising purposes for them.
Yeah. Chase wanted to hand out T-shirts and cards to all the pullers. So all the social media handles are set up, but that's it. They just have a generic coming soon type of thing on it, because you guys, they don't want to roll this out and fall on their butt. They want to make sure this is ready to go. And back to RJ's, RJ just raffle off a mob.
They thought they were going to be ready by Louisville too. So, I mean, and the fact it didn't happen, that sucks, but it's just what it is. As a puller, we patiently wait all the time anyways, don't we? So how about we just patiently wait, see how it works out?
And the whole rollout thing, people are wanting more answers, whatever. We as a group, we as the pullers, I think part of this, people, if I'm back there owning this and I have no clue who Adam Bauer, Jeff Hirt, or Tyler Slagh is, I want to see how much enthusiasm is out there. Are the pullers going to accept it? Because if us pullers would have all got together and said, nope, this is absolutely ridiculous, we're against it, which we're not, then that throws a whole nother wrench into it, because they got to keep ponying money up day in and day out, hire all these high-dollar lawyers to go in and argue with all them federal government people, because the government moves at the pace of a snail. So that's where I think, they were probably fishing a little bit to see how much excitement is there. And Chase, he already hit the home run with all three major organizations signed on. Okay, that's perfect, but I got to have the pullers behind it. I think tonight's show will demonstrate that a majority of the pullers are behind it. I think a lot of the naysayers were not pullers. I didn't sit down and read every post on Facebook, I can tell you that. But I think us pullers being behind it, the promoters getting behind it, that gives them guys the assurance that, hey, the millions that we're spending to get this program together is worth it. Because I don't think you can just sit down on a computer screen on a Sunday afternoon and build an app.
No.
There's a lot of stuff to that a lot of people behind the scenes are getting paid to do.
Yep. And they've been working on this a while.
Yeah.
Well, Ross Langmaid said Travis was looking for $100 to work on his generator in the toter. So what's that about, Travis?
So no, bad enough
for free.
We did what we did on Friday night and looked absolutely ridiculous out there. So we take the tractor back, put it in the trailer, turn the toter home or the generator on, get the heat going so we don't have to winterize the tractor, and a half hour later, the generator's on fire. Let all the smoke out of the inside of the generator. So I roll out the trailer door because the lights go out, and it's bad enough that just about a 911 call to the fire department because all the smoke was. We had both semis on each side of me covered in smoke. You couldn't see. So I'm like, well, this is really cool. Wonder what we should do here. Well, I was getting ready to unload the tractor and jerk it out of the trailer, and then we were going to back the toter home out if we could and get it out in the middle of the parking lot to burn down to the ground. So all's good. All we did was burn the generator out, let all the smoke out.
I know where there's a used generator for sale.
I was just gonna say, if we had football butts last year, Jason could have bought a new generator, maybe.
I could have bet on Schlabach to win the Grand National points, and maybe it would have paid for my new generator.
I was just gonna say, if there's an option for the loudest generator in the parking lot to be Jason, I'd take that bet every day.
That's exactly right. Until I loosen the drain plug the next time that thing's over there rattling away.
Oh, I love it. Colin Burkhartz, are we going to get injury reports during the week like NFL to show repair progress? There will be odds maker shows. We've talked about that. Once the social media rolls out and stuff. Colin, based upon that stuff, there'll be some homework. There's shows, there's podcasts built around sports wagering on football and basketball and different things like that. So definitely think something will become of that. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot to learn with all this. So.
And I think we were talking about somebody said, it'll evolve. Us pullers are going to have to get behind. We're going to have to, they may call you on Wednesday and say, are you going to be at the Saturday show? Will you got to confirm yes or no or put your name in the list. So, I'm sure there's always the last minute scratches, but we'll have to do a better job to answer that question, Jason, to support that, and be realistic on that, so you never know when, Patrick Mahomes might trip and roll his ankle on the way into the stadium. Then he might be out. That'd throw the whole betting world into a panic.
Yeah, it would. You guys, and we have a bajillion people watching tonight, like biggest show ever. And I'm sober, and I'm saying that. That's an inside joke. But I might have got into Fireball a little bit in Florida when I interviewed Steve Burge and Butchie Shebla and Butchie boys down there. So that was after PRI, Travis, and they're always like, you always have Travis. Burge was just hammering me at 2 a.m. You always got Travis on there. You only love Travis. He's your hero. And I said, you guys are on the show Monday night. And so I flew to Florida after PRI to go down there with their friends. And I was trying to behave. And then these guys started doing these shots of Fireball. And I don't like to lose. So I got after it with those fellers. And then thank God Charles was there to save me that Monday night with
was you betting on it?
I said like 6 or 7 times, this is like our 5th or 6th biggest show ever. And I thought I was acting sober and I was smoked.
You'll have that.
It's all good. I know we talked a lot about these. Will pullers be allowed to bet on other classes or other organizations? I don't know if a puller will be able to bet on themselves. I don't know how that works. But yeah, I would assume if Adam Bauer's in Rockwell, Iowa, and Champions Tours in Salem, Illinois, and he wants to bet on the Pro Stock class, I'm assuming Adam can get on the app and bet on a Pro Stock tractor at a PPL event or Rock Valley, Iowa for the Outlaws. I would assume. Again, I have to learn a lot yet about this, a lot of education coming. And again, tonight's more just about high level. We're going to tell you what we can tell you and take it from there. So, but we all need to be behind this. This is the best. Charles, Brent, Hirt, Cody, Doug, Tyler, Adam, Travis. I don't know if anything's better came along that has a legitimate chance to grow the sport. And you heard Chase say the movement. It's a movement to the next level. If anything's ever been able to take it from a hobby to a professional motorsport, I've never heard anything. If you guys have, please type it into the comments, or you guys say something on the show. But social media is not going to turn this into professional motorsport. Social media has shown truck and tractor pulling to more people, but it doesn't mean they're coming to the poll. Okay,
Right.
we might have a video with 1 million views, but it's because
we're not getting any of their money.
Lockout or whatever. It's a movement. It is a movement. Absolutely. Kyle Suggs watching on YouTube. Would there be any licensing in case this is a success to where these other sports books platforms can't swoop in and snag the possible bettors to keep the money possible, making it back to the pullers? There's a lot of smart attorneys, and I guarantee that the people who put a lot of money into pull bets are going to make sure nobody else can come in and do this. That'd be my guess. I'll need to ask Chase on that. And again, if any pullers have questions and they want to talk to Chase, you don't have Chase's number, just message me on Facebook. I'll get you Chase's number. And he wants to talk to all of you. He wants to talk to every single person. He wants to answer every single question that he can. So.
One of the positive things I was thinking is once it does get big, after they make it go, and that they can sell some of it off to DraftKings here or there, or whatever, that has to filter back to them and just make it bigger.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. Because if they would sell it to DraftKings and the Outlaws and the NTPA and PPL aren't on board anymore because there's no money coming back, now they don't have a product anymore. You know what I mean? So I'm sure.
Well, I'm just saying if they could stay as a mediator or whatever and sell it to where them people have the rights to use it then or whatever, to just broaden the crowd or whatever, the eyes even more.
Yep.
And it can go all the way back. You can get that all the way back in. I was just sitting here thinking, you take NTPA, they may not give all that money back to just the Grand National guys. They may filter some of that down into the regional events, which some of the Grand National, some people say, well, they weren't involved in it. Why should they get any money? But they're also growing the sport. We need them guys to sign up to build a diesel super in the region class and then have so much fun doing it. Decide, yeah, you know what? Let's go run the Grand National. Because at some point in our class, we're not getting any younger. The only one crazy enough now to jump in is Adam. So, I mean, now me and him are going to be, it'll be me and him be the old dogs out there. But that's what I think the organizations, I've had a lot of people that were grumbling, that the organization shouldn't get any, they'll just, they won't give it to the pullers. Well, they're also funding their operation and they're building their business. That's where I go to, I'm not saying exact numbers or anything, but some of that may end up going down to the regional, and get them guys a little bit more money so they can build better stuff, buy better stuff, and more pulling. I mean, there ain't one of us out here that pulls for the money anyway. If we can get, my always theory was, if I can win enough to pay for my diesel fuel to get to and from the pull, I'm not going to count the beer. I'm going to drink that whether I'm home or pulling. So that's irrelevant. You can go golfing or fishing every day and get in your $100,000 truck and your $100,000 fishing boat, go down the Mississippi River, throw your pole in the water, buy some, at the end of the day, what do you come home with? 2 or 3 fish? Well, then you got to have a night to clean them. I just throw the rod and reel and everything back in the water, get a new one out of the box, and start over again. I like fish. So, I mean, I think there's so many good things to make the whole sport, not just Grand National, the entire sport.
I'm having a hard time keeping up with all the questions and comments. I'm trying to put them on the screen. You guys, we got Adam Bauer on here. Okay, he does not make public appearances ever. So
you go back to talk about that. Supposedly there's rumor on getting the diesel super class. Well, when I heard about these bets, I figured I had to come on here so Travis showed me how to blow smoke. Everybody's asked.
So are you going to confirm or deny, Adam Bauer, that you're going to have a diesel super this summer?
One of these days, but we might buy an oil pan from somebody but Chaos.
Oh, it just got real. It just got real.
Just for funds.
Just for fun. Kyle Sugg says, I'm all for it. Can't see how it won't hurt. The sport can only grow because as soon as we cross the Ohio River on our way home from the farm show, I was making bets on the Daytona 500. So there you go.
Yep. Prime example right there.
The women will start wearing fancy hats at the tractor pulls. I'm all for fancy hats at the tractor pulls. Travis, get her a fancy hat. Cody?
I am not in favor of fancy hats because when somebody steps in front of you with a fancy hat and it's goddamn that big, that's a problem.
You get better bleachers then.
I'm sure the attire we're at Churchill Downs and Bowling Green are totally comparable. Absolutely, Colin.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Justin, if you put more money back to the events, you bet on the smaller associations will get pushed out because everyone is going to want bigger shows. No, that's not true, Justin, because not everybody can build a diesel super stock. They need an altered farm class, or they need an open stock 4-wheel drive, or a 2-wheel drive naturally aspirated class. You're wrong on that, Justin.
Another thing to that too is that there's not enough weekends to fill all the events that we have out there. You need these smaller associations to be able to have polling thrive.
We just had this example happen 4 months ago when PPL decided that they were no longer going to be involved. I mean, there was some conversation. I mean, NTPA and Outlaw could not absorb all of that. I mean, there were some diehard pullers. There was no way we were going to end up with shows that typically had 15 two-wheel drives at it that all of a sudden had 40 two-wheel drives, and now their show that was 3.5 hours is 6 hours long. We've ruined everything. The best thing news to come out of the last 2 or 3 months was Jonathan Christie jumping back and saying, we're going to run PPL. Awesome. We need it. And what's so cool, Jason, you hit this earlier, where the 3 organizations were in that room together. They weren't arguing about, hey, you stole a poll from me and you got a poll from me. No, that's irrelevant. We're here for the goodness of the sport. And that's what's cool about Louisville altogether, is it takes all of that out of it.
Yeah.
And it brings everybody together, and then you say, hey, let's run with it and go with it and move on.
Yep, well said.
Like Travis said there, with all 3 organizations, since I started pulling, I can never remember ever all 3 organizations being in unison on anything.
Yeah, I don't think you could do another thing that you get everybody together, Jeff, on all of it. I don't know. I really truly believe that.
If you could, you'd have the light limited super stock rules. Have them kind of work on that. That'll kick that can down the road.
Right. Will TPC be part of the betting? I don't think it'll happen that fast, Brian. We'd love to have it be part of it by May 19th and 20th, but I don't think it's going to happen that fast this year. But when that's the gaming commissions, we're going to be on part of that. I bet Farmer Bruce will lose money on farming. This Evan Cricky guy, I'm not sure what he's all about. So.
Just ignore him.
Do you know him?
Yeah.
Tyler, is that one of your guys?
Yes.
Possibly.
Okay. I know who Farmer Bruce is from your Snapchat, Tyler. So.
Evan may or may not have passed out under Rick Peters' generator, sleeping under it for warmth by the exhaust fumes because he couldn't make it to bed one night. And Rick Peters swore he was dead, but for some reason he's still with us.
Okay. All right, so that makes sense why you can ask 17 times if he has to pay taxes on this.
It's the generator fumes that really mess some things up.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Here's CJ Grazik. Do I have to pay tax on winnings? Can I write off my losses? Yeah, go tune your mini rod, CJ. So.
Yeah, he probably fell asleep under a generator at one point or another too.
Yep.
Oh, Short Fighty even asked that question.
Can I deduct my losses? Ask your accountant. When you coming to Michigan? When are we coming to Michigan, guys? Tyler, that's where you live. So
I'm here every day.
how did Evan? So the generator fume kid says, how does it work if I put my money on someone they don't show up at the event? I'll ask the people that. I don't know.
Just like a horse. I asked that question already. It's just like if a horse scratches, your bet gets refunded to you.
Okay.
There we go.
Perfect. Thank you, Jeff. Tractor pull fans watching on YouTube. More eyes on the sport equals company spending more in advertising. Look how much the company pays for just a minute commercial during the Super Bowl. $7 million. So thank you, tractor pulling fan.
Did you have one on the Super Bowl, Schultz? I didn't see Schultz Mortgage or anything on Super Bowl.
Well, you know, I didn't pass the credit check, Travis. So yeah, for that. So
You should have got a mortgage on that.
I should have. Is there any irony in a debut that's done in Kentucky by a truck owner in Kentucky where sports betting isn't legal? Laugh out loud. I hope all goes with it. I'm not sure what Austin's saying there. Is that because
I think he's saying that in Kentucky betting isn't legal, but this is beyond state regulations. This is going nationwide, Austin. So just take that for what it's worth.
Okay.
Will this be legal in Kentucky, being it's run like the horse betting though?
You can bet on horses in Kentucky, can't you?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is not your typical online betting. That's why there's the less chance of cheating in that. I don't know if it's going to be legal there or not. I just kind of assumed because it was being run like the horse deal.
Yeah, and
I'm just betting on 2,500 plus horses at a time.
Right. Well, I like that.
Still betting on horses.
Yep. Yeah. You did lots of horses working together and one.
Yes.
Jared Mattingly says, I just hope to rake in enough money to have hair like Tyler.
We can't all look homeless.
We can't all look homeless. Will pullers be able to bet on their class? I don't know that answer. I'm gonna find out for that person. Right. Some of these questions, guys, I think I'm so far behind on some of these comments, they're not even relevant. I apologize. Ryan says cheap and loud. Oh, I think that's a generator comment. There's so many comments, you guys. This is awesome.
Well, where are the haters at tonight?
I think they're being quiet.
When their name is tied to the comment, they don't like the comment.
Yeah, it's funny how that works, isn't it?
What's the dumbest thing you guys saw on social media about this? What's the one thing that hurt? What's the stupidest thing you saw?
The one that commented that the kids couldn't come to the event because we had sports betting.
That you had to, because you had to be 21 or older.
Yeah.
Yep. You know, that's what
a football game, can't you?
Yeah. Go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I really wanted to get the naysayers on here tonight. I really did, because we've all read some of the comments. But the
local bar too.
We didn't bring Travis on here, Jeff Hirt, Tyler Slagh. We got Adam Bauer on here. I mean, that's a big.
That's why they're not here. They're scared of him.
Yeah. But I mean, these are our pulling heroes on the screen, and then they're here to support this. This is going to be the best thing for the sport of pulling. It's going to be a movement to take us into a new direction. I don't know. Maybe it's just easier just to bitch and moan and not move on. I don't know. But I want to confront it. I want to answer every question we possibly can to this, because I think
that's what pissed me off. I says, don't be negative. Ask questions. If you don't like the answer after you've asked the question, maybe you can be negative. But don't start out being negative when you don't know the answer and you won't ask the question.
Yeah, Todd says, "Are you all the pullers? Are you all pullers?" Well, yeah. I mean, Jeff Hirt is, Travis is, Adam is. Tyler, I'm kind of a puller.
I dream about pulling.
There's 4.5 of us on here that are pullers. So, Austin Thurby, are the competitors that are in the betting pool only able to pull the pulls in the betting pool? Austin, are you drunk?
I was thinking that.
And I like Austin, but I think he might be hammered. Or what if they venture out to pull the Yeah, I mean, Austin, I'll try to answer that the best I can. It's going to start at the highest level of pulling. NTPA Grand National, Champions Tour, and Big Outlaw events. Your Rock Valleys, your Wisners, stuff like that. That's going to be the crawling stage.
At the end of the day, aren't we the ones already betting on ourselves anyways? I mean, we're the ones that already spent the money to get there. So, yeah, we got a hell of a gamble on it. I mean,
yeah, I'm hoping the naysayers are at least watching tonight and they're hearing what we're having to say. And we're giving you as much information as you can. We can't tell you how much is going to give back to the pullers till we know how much is bet or how much is wagered, excuse me. But this is a movement, you guys. This is legit. This is real. I mean, we have big name pullers on the show with us. They've been listening to it. They were reading all that as well. So, Travis, here's my first bet. Scrappy's going to back up his title at the Pullers Championship.
What row,
Bring cash. Bring cash.
Bring cash.
It's illegal.
We'll do it behind the trailer. I need generator money.
Schultz's is cheap, remember, Travis? Schultz's is cheap, but it's also
Travis, I would not give you my generator. That thing, we're gonna do a whistling diesel experiment with that generator, and it's gonna go to heaven. So
I will supply the ether for it.
You can take bets on how long it will run with no oil.
Okay, we're gonna do something fun.
Tannerite would be all right. Yep.
We'll do a whole Let's Grow polling live on how to blow up my generator, guys. So
I think legally you can have 50 pounds of tannerite before it's illegal, so we could have an all right time.
That's like calling in a drone strike, Cody.
Let's save you from going to the John Deere store.
Right. I have seen the Jeep blow up from large amounts of tannerite, and I will tell you there's not much pieces left of a Jeep. I mean, full Jeep motor, like, not much left.
Yeah.
Tie it to a balloon and wait for the missile.
How do you fall and sleep in front of a generator? I'm guessing a lot of alcohol.
Nature takes its course at that point.
Natural selection.
Yep.
Yeah. I really want to stress the movement side of this, and this is like a GoFundMe for pulling you guys. This is a chance to, for money to come back into it, and I can't believe that's really I really want the naysayers to come on here and say their negativity now, because money's going to go back to the pullers. And if you truly, and Jeff Hirt said it best. Jeff said it multiple times. Everybody pisses and moans about how we need to give more money to the pullers. This is something staring you straight in the face. That money is going to go back to the pullers, and that's really, I struggled. I always tell Doug not to read the comments, because once you get to a point, you're never going to make anybody happy. And I joked about before on the show, some of these people, you could give them $1 million and they piss and moan that they got to pay taxes. I don't know. I was really bummed out, after the first couple of days, because I did read a lot of the comments, because I really thought this would be well received. And I don't know. But that's why I'm super excited to bring Travis and Jeff and Tyler and Adam Bauer. We never get Adam Bauer on Let's Grow Polling or anything. That's how important it is to Adam Bauer to come on to stuff like this and talk about it and just express his opinions and talk about how good this is going to be for our sport. Again, to Travis's point, it's not going to happen this first year. It's not going to be big, but it's going to grow. It's going to be like a small snowball, and it's just going to get rolling and rolling and rolling. And nobody
if you don't support this, you don't support pulling at the end of the day.
No, you don't.
Exactly.
You really don't.
You don't have to take part in it. Like, it pisses me off reading the comments like, well, I already spend enough going to pulls. I don't want to have to take part in this. Like, do you drive by a bowling alley and not take part in it? Like, you can not be a part of it and still be okay with it. Like, embrace it, welcome it, make the most of it.
Yep. Thank you, Tyler. I've been waiting. That's exactly what I needed somebody to say.
Yeah.
Besides myself. So Robbie Fagundes says, this will be awesome. The two things I've wasted the most money on my life have become one.
That's consolidation. It's efficiency. We're here for you.
That's because he drives too far.
That's true, Adam. That's true.
Bill Meisinger just texted me, Travis, and he says, Scrappy ain't scared. Bones has to find his nuts first. So.
I can see that this little battle is going to go on until May 19th and 20th.
It might be in the band.
We've told you, you two are our two poster childs. We're gonna bang you head together.
Two man enter, one man leave. Two man enter, one man leave.
Friday night, if the two-wheel drives would have cooperated with us, we had all of the dual fuel guys ready to have a little poke and prod session with each other at 5:30, but we didn't start soon enough, and then the two-wheeler started warming up, and we even had Scrappy was going to hide behind the tractor and just poke his head around like he was listening.
He's probably listening, probably looking under the hood, see what all he needs.
Ross,
Travis just didn't run.
He's poking around on there. So Ross says, I think like Minnesota on the way to Toma, we couldn't use DraftKings when in the state of Minnesota until we crossed the border to Iowa for online gambling. I don't know enough about can any of you guys talk about that?
I think Chase mentioned that in the thing, that there's only like 38 states that have legalized gambling. I thought I heard that in the explanation. So that would make sense. If you can't legally gamble in your current state, you're not going to be able to legally gamble. This isn't about that. This is for all the states that will allow it. So get you a P.O. box and a phone number from some other state that will allow it your game in. But it's just like anything. The more and more states that figure out that they're losing money on this, they'll start adding to it. I mean,
Okay, Austin Thurby just sobered up and he understands it now. Thank you, Austin. So you're gonna pick a winner there, buddy. I love you, Thurby. Shannon Leichner. You guys heard of Shannon Leichner? But he says I think it'll be a great thing. I've heard of Shannon Leichner. He's kind of a big deal. He ain't as big a deal as Adam Bauer, but like, on the case of big deals.
I'm sure you don't like hearing that.
Uh-oh. I can send them the link. We got room for one more person on the show. Yeah, Chase Steinman says, I'm not against it, but I saw a lot of competitors are worried more about cheating will occur. I mean, we can talk about that again, but how are you going to cheat?
I don't think that's competitors at this level. Like, there is nobody that is willing to go through the amount of work that we go through to get to an event and not give it their all. Like, at this level, that just does not happen. That will not happen. There's no way.
If this drives anything, it might cause you to turn the wick up a little more.
No.
Adam, you got any wick left to turn up over there?
I don't know if that's possible. There's some nights that's not
Lighter
possible.
in the gunpowder.
You could just leave your oil pan off when you make a pass. It's more efficient that way. You won't mess it up when you kick a rod out.
Yeah, don't have to buy a new one.
That's right.
Hey, here's a good one. Ed Vinkmeyer says he's a naysayer, but he respects our point of views. And thank you, Ed. At the end of the day, if you're a puller, thank you for saying that, Ed, not being a Sally ass like everybody else. If you're a puller and you're against this, it's dumb. Because you don't have to bet. You don't have to make anybody bet. You can just still go pulling. If you're not preaching this movement and how this is going to be good for the sport as a puller, it's silly, because money is going to come back to the sport through this. It has to. The PPL, the Outlaws, and the NTPA would not have said yes to this if the owners of this were going to keep all the money. No, life doesn't work like that. Life doesn't work like that, guys. So thank you, Ed, for being honest. I appreciate that. Have they said when the app is going to be available? No. It'll be available when it passes the gaming commission. So, and that's really, and I know you want to know more, but there just isn't more, because the attorneys are telling Chase that, hey, you don't start promoting this as full bets until we pass gaming commission and roll it out. So that's why they've reached out to us, the polling media, saying, hey, let's talk about this. Let's get the word out there. Let's get people excited about this. Let's get the pullers on board. Let's get Adam Bauer on our show. And he doesn't even like social media, do you, Bauer?
That's all just because of Chase.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
All because of Chase, and I got to learn how to blow smoke.
Yeah. When it's to Tony had that. Tony, when it's passed and everything's good to go, it's going to be freaking everywhere. I promise you. It'll be everywhere.
Everybody knows our government works very quickly and efficiently.
Yeah.
Terrific use of our tax dollars.
Look at the United States Post Office. They run that baby like a Swiss watch.
That's underwater and broken.
We need what's his name to pay his taxes, so that way it speeds it up, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a good point. The Tractor Pull fan on YouTube says need to do some interviews or get people on the show that bet on this that has never watched the sport once this gets going. That's a great idea. We'll walk up Brett Yarn. I'm bringing your brother on. We're gonna ask him. He likes to gamble. He likes to
Good
play
luck with
that. Chris Hayden says, "Will this gambling prevent a Grand National or PPL puller from showing up at a region national event? Hook, kind of like the Kansas City Chiefs showing up at NCAA game. Obviously, the Grand National guy is going to be the favorite. No, if Travis Schlabach shows up in Wisconsin at a Region 3 hook, his odds are going to be probably pretty good. He's going to win, and you're going to bet like $100 to win like 50 cents.
I would bet his odds in Ellsworth are slim.
You are correct on that, Doug. But someday I will be back.
Can everybody get a screenshot of the screen right now? Shannon Leishner says, Adam is my hero. So everybody take a picture of that and text that to Adam Bauer. Like that.
It's all good, Shannon.
No, this is about having fun and educating at the same time. Keith Haynes says, I love this for the sport. I just hope the gambling fans become polling fans and not just come to gamble, but enjoy it and come to more. I don't care. I just want them to put more money back into the sport. I can't tell you that the gamblers love college football. Probably drives them insane, but for the most part, it's big. So,
right. Worst case scenario, even if they just come to gamble, theoretically, that is still a win.
Yep, there's still money going back.
Yep, because there's gate money coming in, or there's a live stream being bought, and then that's more.
You know what? I'm going to go see this in person. What I've been betting on. I'm going to go see this. You know, and if we get 20 more or 100 more fans to Bowling Green, or 20 more fans to Rockwell, it's 20 more fans in the seat. Hopefully they buy 12 beers, 17 hot dogs, and 2 shirts. We're all happy. Promoters are happy.
It's probably more like 2 hot dogs, 10 shirts, and 17 beers. I just want you to know that.
Andy Leonard says that well, and we still have a gigantic crowd watching. I got to keep up with the comments. Andy Leonard's watching on YouTube. He says, no different if you don't drink beer, but you still go to the pool that sells beer. Exactly. You know,
Perfect.
That's where I read. I don't know how any puller couldn't be excited about this. All you got to show up, keep doing what you're doing, and it's more money is going to come back. So Ryan DeBrew, obviously a super semi competitor at the NTPA and the PPL level. There isn't anyone who will sandbag, not at this level. It's too hard to win. Guys, Travis goes out to win. Hirt goes out to win. Bauer goes out to win. Tyler goes out to win. You don't put these machines that are going to go out and get second place. You go out to win because you've been running on pride your whole life to do all this. So, Andy Gerboss says, anybody involved
Tyler
in
said you just worked too hard to do this.
Yeah. Andy says anybody involved in NASCAR that gets caught betting or cheating is banned for life with a $100,000 to $200,000 fine. So there's a lot of rules for stuff like that. Mark Peisig.
I think the federal felony.
Mark says, I'm in full support of this. People just need to understand how it works. Absolutely, Mark. I agree with you. And I promise you, once it passes a gaming commission, it is going to be a full onslaught of explaining this, how it's going to work. Promise you. Lisa Bunnage, the haters will be happy to take more money someday, though. Just saying. The haters will be happy to take more money someday. Yeah. Yeah, they will, Lisa. So.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Need contact info for each puller I make money on. I don't know how that works. Need to get a beer company, do a commercial with the tractor puller, just show them how much beer is consumed at Bowling Green and with more eyes on the sport from this idea, maybe they'll do it. Yep. Go.
He's not even on the chug cam. Where's the
Got it.
My hero.
The timing was right.
Justin Van Valkenburg says, Jeff Hirt, you win. I will accept it, just not a fan of it. And more questions than answers, but I understand it's a work in progress.
Good for you, Justin.
Yeah.
Just have to be open to the idea. You don't have to accept it right away. Just be open.
Exactly.
What's the worst thing that could happen
to you?
What's the worst thing that could happen?
Well, according to the naysayers, polling's going to die.
Yeah.
So are people.
I don't even know how that's even possible, but.
Oh, that's okay, because if you go on pull off, Nichols Tires is going to kill pulling too. So,
of course.
I've heard the other tire's about done for the other side.
What do you think? Tosh killing Superstock Diesel, Travis?
I don't know. My fire seals are still running.
It was in the super class, them was Firestones in the sand.
Well, there you go.
Tosh has killed my motor, not my pass.
Oh. Can you bet on a tractor when the class is in the middle of going? I don't have the answer to that.
I don't think so. I thought they said that all bets needed to be placed before the class started.
That'll be once we can get Chase on here and really explain it. That'll be a good question. So I don't know that. And
And
sorry,
the gaming commission is going to be the one that's setting that.
yeah,
You know, like I said, when we were in Vegas that time watching Monday Night Football, you could bet live because you were in Vegas, but then there would be certain times, like during the game, they would shut off certain bets, and then at a commercial, it was like a dead race to get to the place to throw more money at them. But like my boy was at home, so we were calling him for advice, and he said that he couldn't bet on 10% of what we were betting on because we were live in person. So I don't see. I think it'll be, you got to be early, done, bets all in, bets in, and then you go.
and that we'll get that out there as more as we can. Shannon Leisner, Adam can tell you what I told him in Louisville. He really is a big deal. I agree with Jason. Oh, Adam Bauer. Adam, are you used to all this compliments and attention, or are you just having your dad kick your ass every day?
Yeah, I agree with you, Jason.
I think I just saw Adam blush a little bit.
I did too.
No,
I think he's got to pee.
I do gotta pee bad.
I had to leave for a pee break earlier. I'm not gonna lie.
Might
Yeah,
be
there
where I
really,
went.
Adam, there really is no rules, Adam. If a fella's got to pee, he just goes pees and he comes back. So if you got,
I would recommend it.
So, but you got to come back because we're probably never going to get you on here ever again. So
That's pretty good. I don't know. You want to bet on it?
hey, what sheet metal? What sheet metal is on your diesel super stock, or do we have to wait?
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Is that bad?
No, I think it's probably the most honest thing you've said all night. So it's all good. So.
Got a sponsorship from Belarus.
There you go.
I thought it was going to hinder.
I'm going to bet on that that's not going to happen.
It's gonna be an inside-out Kubota.
I bet it's a John Deere.
I just think full bets is going to be the biggest thing that ever happened to pulling. And I'm not trying to be a hype guy. I just don't see. I've seen what gambling's done and legalized sports wagering has done to other sports, and I just don't know how this can't help pulling. I really don't. Whether the haters can hate, like Lisa Bunny said or whatever, it's going to be money is going to flow back to the pullers, to the associations. So.
Well, Jason, you know my three boys, and Rhett is not really into tractor pulling.
Right.
He laughs at us. But he was sat here on Christmas morning or whatever it was, or the day after, whenever they were here, we're eating breakfast. There was a FanDuel commercial on TV. He says, that's what tractor pulling needs.
It does.
I'm sitting there like, you're right. And it might be coming.
And that's where you're going to get
watch
that
a sporting event without an ad.
Say that, Jeff.
You cannot watch a sporting event anymore without an ad for some sort of legal gambling.
Yep.
And
right.
It's here. And there's a reason they're buying them ads. It's because it's working.
Yep. Holy crap. Jennifer Henderson's watching tonight. How did that? Wow. Boots, we get all the cool people on when you're on here.
Isn't that something?
Where's her dad's super stock sitting at?
In his shop.
That thing is gorgeous.
Yes, 100%.
That thing is gorgeous. Tyler, I cordially invite you to my 500 cans of Busch Latte on ice at my Poletown, USA campsite.
Well, my goodness. I couldn't be more honored. This night was
Start
a
him
complete
early. That way he'll
success.
be easier to run with.
And do you have a Mr. Poletown? What is your site?
Yeah, we're going to need a site number on that for clarification.
Verification, yeah.
Adam Wilson didn't pulling in when they started letting non-matching engines sheet metal. Yeah, that's when it was going to die. I remember that. It's always going to die. So it's kind of like the Syngenta tractor pull challenge. You're going to bet on a winner. You're going to bet on who's going to win the class. It's that simple. Pre-registration for pullers will be something that'll need to happen. Absolutely. I agree with that. We got to know who's going to be there.
But the good part of that is, yes, we'll have to be entered early. But you know what? If something happens, you can't make it. It's no different than a horse that died on its way to the track.
Yep.
You scratch, they get their money back.
And us pullers got to do our best to help the program too. That's where we got to step up. If you know Tuesday that you're not going to be there, I'm sure it'll be a phone-in deal, text-in deal, an email, whatever. They're not going to pull me out. And we'll have to do our stuff with that also.
But it don't cost us anything to do that part, like you said.
100%. And it is common courtesy.
Evan, I understand you're a little slow. You allegedly have sipped some generator fluids. I have said multiple times that Mr. Richardson will be all over social media, all over everything when it passes the gaming commissions. Have I said that, guys, tonight a couple times?
Yeah, you did. I don't know where he is, but he's clearly too many beers deep right now.
Okay, fair enough. Chase would
Go look under your generator.
Chase would love to be on here tonight, but he can't until it passes gaming commissions. So, if a vehicle is 2 different colors, can you bet on it twice?
No, there's already a light limited that looks like that. Please don't make it harder.
There will not be any extra fee or cost for the promoter of the poll. Nope, this is just think of this as a GoFundMe account. Really, it's just on top of it. Jennifer Henderson's blowing kisses at Travis. Oh, I'll get a room. Yeah, that's cute. Okay, 3464 Tata Alley Parade Corner. Write that down, Tyler.
Placing that on the map.
Tyler, I think if you just go to every site and ask for that address, somebody will accept you.
I typically try to go to every site anyway, but now I have a destination, so that's convenient.
I better see this on your Snapchat, Tyler.
Oh, you will.
Terry Benson. The people I know who bet on all other sports are already asking me who to bet on because they don't know much about pulling. So I told them to come with me to pull and you'll find out. They're ready to bet.
There you go.
Right on, Terry.
Thank you, Terry. You're invited to Mr. Pulltown's Latte Fest at the campgrounds too. So.
Yeah, we'll chug a Busch Light together.
Yep. West corner by the White Barn. Okay, there we go. So.
It's very descriptive. I'll never remember that.
All right. Did I mention that we have Adam Bauer on Let's Go Pulling tonight? I want 5 minutes of questions and answers for Adam Bauer. Please start typing in the comments. We're going on almost 2 hours. We got 300 people watching strong still. This is fun. Adam Bauer. Questions for Adam Bauer. Anything. Put it out there. Adam, if you don't want to answer, put up your middle finger and we'll move on.
Adam, average beer consumption per day at a pull. What are we looking at?
Me or you?
You.
Or Grace?
You.
I don't know. 6, 8.
An hour?
At noon?
Tyler's like, those are rookie numbers. Come on.
Exactly. I'm a rookie.
I just want to know if he's going to let me drive his diesel super.
I bet he will.
I'm
probably going to have to.
You got to teach him how to blow smoke, Travis.
I think Omer had that on there earlier. Adam Bauer's going to have a hood on a pulling tractor.
Yep, he did. I'm trying to keep up with all the comments. But Mark Ulmer says Adam with a hood. Yep.
At least it don't have doors.
Kyle Matcham from Dragway 42 says this is true. We met up with Tyler and the crew in the campground at the pole in Norwalk. So, yep. If you want to have fun, you go hang out with Tyler Slagh. He knows how to have fun. Can Adam Bauer run mod again?
Why couldn't he?
You can do anything he wants.
I'm pretty partially on limited class.
Is that a 9620 RX?
Yes.
Yes. Come on, guys. Keep firing those questions in there. When will Adam be on Let's
things?
When will Adam be on Let's Grow Pulling again? Adam, when will you be on our show again?
I have no idea.
This might be a once and ever.
Yeah.
You know, the internet ain't very good in Peyton, Iowa.
Yeah, I had to put a new tower in just for tonight.
You would.
He's not scared to make it too fast.
Well, I didn't want to be fuzzy or anything.
Jennifer Henderson, she goes, I just want to go with someone that has an active diesel super stock. Hashtag missing out. Oh, she misses it. So
Jennifer, maybe you should start driving.
yeah. Mark Olmer was wondering if he's getting a motor from the Scrappy team. Oh, they're coming after you, Travis. They're coming after you tonight.
I got
Can Adam drive Tyler's Mini? Can Adam drive Tyler's Mini? Tyler?
Of course he could. He could drive it.
He can drive anything. He's shown
Don't
it.
need to.
On second thought, I don't want to know. That's what Kane Pulling Team says. Fair enough. Will Adam shotgun a bush latte with me if he wins at Pull Town? Adam, would you shotgun a bush latte?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Do it right now.
Ain't got no bush lattes.
Grace,
What do you
get
got?
that man a beer.
Adam Bauer's going to shotgun a beer on Let's Go Pulling live. Holy cow. Jennifer
one
Henderson.
night?
What's that?
Yeah, we
Bud?
better save that one, Tyler.
No, come on now.
We were
It'd be
just
fun.
in Louisville for 6 days.
Yeah, and you didn't shotgun a beer with me.
You're practiced up then.
Yeah.
No, I wore out.
No,
Nobody's
wow.
ever going to say, remember that time you didn't shotgun a beer on your interview.
That's true.
Yeah, see?
He's saving
He's thinking
something, so
about
we
it.
might get him on again.
I was gonna
He's
say
thinking about it.
you guys do it together and make it worthwhile.
I'll do it with him.
I was gonna
Oh,
say
race.
we just will save that one for another time.
I want to bet on this. I think Tyler can drink it faster than you.
What? Can I bet too?
Hey, don't be throwing this bet now. That sets a bad precedent, damn it.
Yeah, we already know you're gonna win.
There's the first 20 right there.
Josh Blackburn says, Adam, please shotgun a beer for us. Josh Blackburn asking Adam. So
Get Josh on. He can get in that race.
yeah, I've seen Josh do those races at Mountain City, Missouri. After COVID, it was one of the first polls after COVID, and Josh can pound beers fast. He's a champion. So, Evan Cricky, what do you think of Clint Boyer, Adam Bauer?
Ooh, that's a good question for Adam.
Why for me?
Because it's the Adam Bauer 5-minute question and answer session.
Oh,
Let's go polling.
Because you
I like Clint.
Okay. Matt Miser, can you bet if Vaughn remembers to bring all the sleds to the interleague pull-off? What's that about? Is that an inside joke?
I don't know.
I don't either.
And I'm not calling on to ask him. I can tell you that.
Yeah, you take that up with him.
Matt, I'll get you Vaughn's number. No, he told me never to give his number out, so I can't do that, but that's all good. So,
feel like that's a good move.
yep. Kane Pulling Team says, get me a bear. I think he meant beer, but that's okay. So, Josh Blackburn says it again. Adam, please shotgun a beer for us.
Come on.
Adam, is there some of that old Miller Lite still up on top of the refrigerator?
No, luckily we threw that out. She gone. Well, it either got thrown out or we drank it. I don't know.
I'd like to think you drink it. I don't think you ever waste a beer.
Miller Lite we would have.
That's not really a beer. That's recycled.
It is. I
beer.
don't discriminate.
I drink it sometimes, and sometimes it surprises me, and the other times like, oh, we discard that one.
Well, you can't let them sit around that long. They get too seasoned.
Well, fridge don't
That's
run
what
dry.
why ProFab thinks they taste so good. He don't let them sit around very long.
Wow, Hank used to like it.
CJ Gressick says, give Adam a head start. So,
I'll do it if we'll do it.
okay, guys,
Not an option.
thank you for coming on tonight. I want to wrap it up with everybody with Jeff, Travis, Tyler, and Adam. Kind of one last final plug. But Jeff, I mean, what do you want to say? Kind of closing statements.
Hey, thanks for everything. Let's just keep this all moving forward. Let's keep positive. I mean, this is just like you say, it's the next best thing that's ever happened to this sport. And let's just make it happen.
Thank you, Mr. Jeff. And you coming on tonight means the world to us. because we want every puller behind here. Travis?
Thanks for having
I
me.
think the biggest thing is I'll throw a shout out to Chase and him. Chase is the one that's been behind it. I remember 2-3 years ago at Toma, Wisconsin, on a rain out. Me and him stood around, drank beer, and he said, "Do you think people would bet on polling?" Yeah, they bet on everything else. That was. He's like, I just think I need to research this. So, I mean, kudos to Chase for taking the ball and running with it. There's the guy who has all the time, money, and effort. I don't know any amount of any of that, but he's the one that's been running with it. Chase is trying to do it for our sport. We need to support him.
Thank you, Travis. Mr. Adam Bauer, parting wisdom from the great Adam Bauer.
No, I don't see as a puller out how we're going to lose. And just like Travis, kudos to Chase for getting the ball rolling. And I think anybody that's invested in this sport enough, like the most of us are, I think you got to be behind it, because I don't see anybody else going to throw any money into it.
Well said. Well said. Tyler Slagh?
If you don't support this, you don't support polling.
Bingo. Bingo. Well, it's our job to keep this movement alive while this gets through the Gaming Commission. And once it's, like I said, once it's live, we're gonna have it everywhere. Chasing the team. So I just thank you guys for all coming on tonight and doing this. We're gonna wrap up with some Louisville stuff, but I'm gonna let Jeff, Travis, Adam, and Tyler go on with their evening. So thank you guys. Have a great night.
Yep. Thanks for your money, boys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
There we are. There we are. I still can't believe we got Adam Bauer on that show, guys. He hates Facebook. I'm gonna tell you, he called it F book and it wasn't face, if you guys know what I'm saying. So it's all good. It is all good. I don't know. I mean, we're never going to keep everybody happy, guys. I think we all agree that what's the worst thing that could happen, but we really need everybody all on board on this. I don't know, Charles, Cody, Brent, Doug, do you have anything here to wrap it up?
No, I think everyone kind of knocked it out already. Let's just support it. If you're not 100% for it yet, just be open-minded. Let's get all the details first, and then figure out how you feel about it afterwards. I mean, like I said, I don't see really a downside to this at all. Like Travis said, there's no really investment for the pollers and the fans for it right now, so it shouldn't change how polling is currently. So if it takes off, it can be huge. But if it doesn't, it's not going to change polling. Polling is still going to be polling the way it is. So that's just how I look at it.
Yeah, and then this comment right here, it's on one of our Facebook groups, but it says, the more I think about it, this could be the boost to next level for our sport. Absolutely it is. And then to Brent's point, echoing off what Travis said, if you're a puller, you're still going to freshen up your motor and you're going to go try to win points. And this is that, and the movement, the GoFundMe, that's really what it is. It's just going to be something to put on top of the purse to put more eyeballs on the sport. And I will tell you, trying to go out and get sponsorship, the more numbers you can tell a potential sponsor that they can reach and get in front of them and get their brand or their product in front of somebody, it's going to be great for everybody. It's going to be great for everybody from that point of view. So, Charles,
like I said, yeah, there's tons of details to be sorted. I'm an open mind about it. This is coming, so let's ride and see where we get to. Yep,
Cody.
For there anybody that's a naysayer, I say you do you, boo. The rest of us are gonna have fun.
Perfect. I was kind of proud of you, Cody. That was smooth. That was smooth. Douglas?
I did see some, pullers that had negative comments. Like you said, though, you go to events if you don't believe in drinking, but you'll still go to a pull that sells beer. I mean, I think it needs to be looked at the same way. If you don't agree with it, you can still participate. Everybody has their own choices, so move on.
Yep. And I just, like I said, I know everybody thinks I get all hyped up and I'm getting paid to do all this. None of it. I mean, I'm hyped up, but I'm not getting paid to do this. We set out years ago, guys, with Let's Grow Polling. We're on here every Monday night interviewing the biggest names in polling. If it's happening in the polling world, we're talking about it. This is happening in the polling world. We're going to talk about it. And if this is my cross to bear, if you will, but nothing has came along, and I don't know what else could revolutionize our sport or take a movement like anything else. The amount of money that could come into come into truck and tractor pulling. And the fact, when everybody thought PPL was dead, and I saw the look on Greg Randall's face and Kurt Van Beek's face of legit, like, holy crap, we can't handle this. That's the last thing I thought. You know what I mean? But until I got into rooms with those guys, and they're like, Jason, we have to have the PPL. We can't absorb these big pulls. And so I heard one of them say, there needs to be enough winners. You know what I mean? You need to have all these different places where people can go and compete and win. And then to see all these three groups in that room last Thursday at the Pullers Happy Hour and talking to everybody. And that's what's unique about Louisville. And that's why we started the Pullers Championship. It's our non-sanctioned outdoor Louisville to get the best of the best together. And you bet your ass we're going to pick that scrappy and bone twister thing to the death. Because duels and fuels, the duel of the fuels at the farm show, has been the biggest thing, and from a promoting thing. And you always got to have something to hang your hat on. But if you're not a puller and you're not behind this, or you're not going to give this an open mind, shame on you. Especially if you're a puller that says, we don't make enough money or we don't get paid enough. You guys, promoters there aren't promoters that are walking away, running off to Tahiti, like Travis said. They're scraping bills to get by, guys, to get, I think that's why all the associations are doing it. I'm excited about all of it. So
honestly, there's not a fucking promoter out there that will sit there and tell you they're making money, because they're trying to grow. They're taking every bit of money they make, turning it back into, how do we make this better for the fans, for the spectators, for the media guys, for the pullers? How do we make it better? They're not making money. They only do it because they love the sport. And this is what is exciting. You take all three associations, put them together, put money in the promoters in the sport and everything. So to me, that's the exciting part.
Well done, Cody. Slama loves you.
Yeah, I know. I got both of them in there.
Guy, I saw a number that got tossed around, and a calculator won't even do the math for you because you can't get enough numbers on it. But horse racing is like a $4 billion a year industry. And $999 million at 1% is $9 million. Just think about that. If you got 1% of what horse racing does, it's stupid, which it would be revolutionary.
Mm-hmm.
This is awesome. Terry Benson says, one question I have for Charles is, what do you do using your hair to make it pop like it does? We work hard to make the hair pop on our show cattle. Maybe we need a product like you.
You need to have genetically engineered hair that just is like chicken wire. It does whatever the hell it wants. You should see the industrial strength gel I use to hold it down in the morning.
Two things I really took from this tonight. Everybody's going back to cheating, or somebody's going to cook the books. I mean, did we get that point across, Charles?
No. I mean, can I take that one, Charles?
You go for it.
I don't think anybody, like, it's to throw a bet or whatever. They honestly aren't going to do that, because it would take more work to try and throw a bet than it would be just to compete like they normally do. No one's ever going to try and say, hey, vote for me to lose, because it's not going to happen. They want to win. They want that, that's the whole goal. No one goes out there and tries to compete to lose. They go out there to try and win. That's my take.
Well, it's like horse racing. The favorites aren't going to pay as well, right? You're going to take some chances on maybe, Travis Schlabach was by the last 2 years has been the most dominant diesel super out there in the diesel super class, right? So if Colin Ross would show up, right? That's what makes it fun. I mean, you guys, I think, I haven't placed a lot of legal sports wagering bets. My stuff's been, hey, Doug, I'll bet you $100 that Iowa beats Wisconsin's ass. It's a lot of fun stuff like that, which they did in football this last year. Mm-hmm. Iowa, Doug.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, it's because you guys got your little fickle bunch coming
next year just to prove a point. But
yep. And Jeff Hirt's still watching the show, and he says, why go if you don't have a chance? That's the point. Right. You think Jeff Hirt's going to freaking back out of it, you guys?
No.
He's one of the coolest faces in pulling. He's the John Force of truck and tractor pulling. He's the most exciting. He's the most engaging. When he gets on the track, every single tech official gets closer to their fire extinguishers, right? Because Jeff Hirt is going to hang it out balls to the wall every single time. And that's what the sports need. And it wouldn't be fun to throw $100 down on Jeff Hirt. You know what I mean? And then, to see Josh Blackburn at the end of the sand pile pumping his fists, and he stands up in the tractor with his front end in the sand, that's fun. That's fun. But to watch a game knowing you have money onto it, or watch a poll knowing you have money onto it, guys, it's going to get you so much more engaged. It's crazy.
Can we dump the Gatorade cooler on whoever wins? I'm just saying. We can bet on the color at that point and everything.
Yeah. Well, I just know, Cody, out of the gate, it's going to be real simple. It's just going
to be. I know. I'm just. Yeah.
No. I mean, we had probably a bajillion comments tonight, and I was trying to keep up with them, and some of them I got behind because Travis was talking, or Jeff was talking, or Tyler, or Adam Bauer. I still can't believe we got Adam Bauer on our show. His girlfriend had to set up the live stream for him because he hates technology that much.
I saw the finger do the reach around and touch the screen.
So, Jason Kleppy, because Hurt has balls the size of an elephant. How do you get your balls in that mini rod, Jeff Hirt? So, but really, if you're a puller and you're still kind of half, Jason, you're just a hype guy. You and your cronies, your Let's Grow Pulling guys. Chase Richardson wants to talk to you. He wants to talk to every single puller that has a question. So he's saying, don't be a Sally ass. He's not saying that, but I'm saying that. Don't be a Sally ass and go type on pull off or comment on Facebook. Pick up the phone and call Chase. They've been working on this for years, you guys. And they would not be doing this if it wasn't going to grow the sport of truck and tractor pulling. But
put your name to it if you're going to be a Sally.
Well, I don't. I mean, you can, Doug, be a Sally and put your name to it. I don't think it matters or not. I think some people like to just be Sallies, like to poke the bear. But Chase handed out, Doug, how many business cards, how many of those packets did we hand out down there? 300, 400 of them?
400 probably.
Chase's business card was in every single one of them. He wanted the pullers to find out about this first, okay? And then we put the hype behind it with this big announcement because that made it fun. Charles even was guessing on it. I didn't even tell the guys on the screen here that this was coming. I mean, I had pullers calling me saying, Jason, you have the biggest mouth in pulling. This must be a big deal if you're not talking about it. And it is, and when an attorney makes you sign a non-disclosure, that's very real. So, I mean, I don't like jail. I do not look good in stripes. You know what I'm saying? I don't have Charles's hair. So that's all I can say.
You wouldn't fare well in jail. Let's just say that.
You think,
I'd be just fine. I don't drop the soap.
Yeah, I'm just pumped, and we need everybody behind this, and just give it a chance. Give it a chance, and let's sit back. And I hope in 2 years from now we're going, holy shit. We're going to be saying holy shit, but it's going to be for the right reasons too. But nothing's going to happen overnight. And Chase and that team, they're not going to roll this out until it's ready to go, because this is real. This is real attorneys. Gambling's for real. The states are involved into the whole thing.
Well, and even look at it just how they're willing to, they're going to be giving money back to associations and, promoters and stuff like that. Look at an event like ours where we are already giving all of our money back. We get an extra $50,000 that we can give back to the pullers. I mean, we're just spicing the pot even more. I mean, if promoters are willing to take the money that they take in and just use it for their purse and add on top to what they're already paying out.
I mean, let's say
this is just going to be a huge win for everyone involved.
Let's say it gets to the point where it's 50, 60, 70 grand to win a class at Bowling Green. You don't tell me Brett Berg's not going to turn the wick up. You guys have seen demo derbies, right? Where it's the finals and it's winner takes all. I mean, you're coming.
They go from corner to corner head on.
Yeah, it's coming. And remember, this is an entertaining sport. All the time we hear people say, oh, the announcers need to be more like rodeo announcers and we need to play more music. And then, so you bring something like this in that's entertaining, that's going to bring new people to it. I just really struggled with the negative comments. I really did. But I called Charles on the way home from Louisville. I talked to Doug while I was down there. I talked to Cody, called Brent on the way home because those guys went down there. And I talked to Roos. We just went through all these different things. I called Romac. I called Brad Hosauer. I called my friends that are in pulling. And I couldn't believe the amount of negativity. But because it was a big secret, it really was. I mean, we just did that event, the Pullers Happy Hour, just for the pullers. And then, everybody went out of the room and started posting their full pull bets thing. And I think that's where a lot of it, but that's also kind of good, right, Charles? Everybody was talking about it. And and hitting
The idea that even bad press is good press, it does apply in every case, including this one.
Yep. So it's 2 hours in. I do want to talk about Louisville a little bit. Biggest takeaways from Louisville. Brett and Charles, you were sitting at home watching on this stuff. What was your, like, did you guys watch a live stream or, you know?
I watched the whole thing, all of it. Yeah.
Same here.
What are your overall thoughts?
It was well run. I'd say there were, you know, like that show always produces a few surprises. You get somebody who just has that monster pass. You go, man, where'd that come from? So there was a few of that, few of those. I was happy that it was a safe event. Really there was some fireworks and some flames here and there, but everybody, you know, got back in their trailer safe and sound, which is good. I heard there was something about some new black pro stock, though. Did I miss that? Was that a
When that thing rolled out of the trailer, Charles, it was like people haven't eaten in 7 days. The amount of video cameras that were around that thing. So that's neat, though. That's neat to do.
I'm curious. So I know on the live stream what it was like. I'm curious what it was like in the building in terms of the music. Was it as loud as it seemed to be through the stream?
That's
Yes.
okay. I was going to ask that question too, because it was pretty loud on the live stream.
Every other night but Wednesday. Wednesday was a little quiet. You couldn't hear what the announcers were saying, but every other night it was so loud you wanted earplugs the entire time.
So, Cody, I was told they didn't get the music license. Again, these are rumors. Nobody, this isn't Mike Witt saying this to me, but I was told they didn't have the full music license till maybe Thursday or Friday. It's like they could. I don't know. Did you hear that at all, Cody?
They only play. The only time I could hear it on Wednesday was during the pro stock class.
Yes, yes. And
it wasn't very loud on Wednesday, but Thursday on, it was loud.
Well, through the stream, I mean, they potted it down to where, like, you could kind of tell. It's like somebody was somehow monitoring it, so when one of the announcers would key a hot mic, the level would come back down so we could hear them and not so much music. So I felt like it was being monitored, but it seemed like in the building it would have been really loud.
It was extremely loud. The new graphics, the new board were great. The only thing I will say is the new speakers they put in. When you're at half track, anywhere half track, mid track, whatever you want to call it, and you're looking at the board, they had a whole stack of speakers right in the way.
You could see that.
See that board.
Yeah.
So everybody that was mid track, I mean, yeah, you could hear it and you could feel the noise, but you couldn't see anything on the board. And that was a little bit disappointing when you're trying to watch the board to see what's going on and you can't see anything. So
I'd be curious to hear what if it was this, you know, if the acoustics are any different the next day at a Bellarmine basketball game, you know.
Well, and from what I heard is, like, you can hear like that whatever is like playing that's not the announcers. Anything that's like going through the microphones is what I was hearing, or what I was told is like the announcers is what's hard to hear. Like, music was fine, and the ads that play and any of the videos that they played, you could hear it. But I don't know, Cody, if you can attest to that. Like, is that kind of similar for you?
from Thursday on, yeah, you could hear the announcers quite a bit better. If it were me, I would have turned down the music level and left the announcer volume up, just because, I mean, it was so hard, I mean, to have a conversation with anybody sitting right next to you. And we all know those seats there's not like you have a lot of space. I mean, it's like airplane seating. You're right next to the person, but there's your Fent, Charles.
Yeah.
And ironically, I was notified earlier about the neck collar coming off there. Tyler Elmer is like, "Hey, nice catch on that one." And I was like, I was looking at the water.
I saw it on the live stream.
Geez. And I didn't catch that before.
I was looking at how full his shoes were going to be full of that water type of thing. But, yeah. So.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like maybe on the sound system they need an audio engineer to go tweak the EQs to.
Yeah.
Because Miles and Leslie and Dan each have a different pitch to their voices. You just need to tweak the EQs to tune it in. That, you know, it's you're playing that building like an instrument. Really, it's what you have to do.
Yeah.
When we had Mike on, didn't he say that this year was kind of like a half-ass? They did some half-ass.
Yeah, they had like a more permanent fix that they.
I think the interim fix was the closed captioning, which I was kind of fascinated to see that on Wednesday night. Like, oh, look at that.
Yep.
That was nice. So
Now, like Cody, you were on the floor. Doug was on the floor. I mean, is the sound better up high, guys? Like Charles Brent, when you're watching a live stream, was it clear? Like, could you
Yes.
hear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
But that's because it's piped through. It's hard.
I will say, like Wednesday was the worst night for it. It had some nasty reverb that occasionally would make Miles almost inaudible. And if they both had their mics on, you'd get that hum.
Yeah.
But they fixed that for Thursday, and the rest of the week it was fine.
Yeah.
yeah, and I talked to some guys in the upper bowl section that they were, they made it sound like it was hard to get that sound pushed out to the upper bowl, but like the guys downstairs could hear it quite a bit better. So I don't know if that got fixed by the rest of the week or whatever, but that was one comment that to get that sound pushed evenly to top and bottom bowls is extremely hard. So kudos to them for trying to work on that. I know that they've got more to go, but that was my opinion. It was extremely loud.
Charles, I kept seeing you commenting that you suck at pick'em contests. How did you finish up? I didn't go look.
So in the preliminary 4 days, I did not pick a single winner, but I had two guys that I did pick going to the finals and win, Masterson and Nichols. So I think in the final tally, I was at like 193 or something. But at one point,
I was like
way down
360 or 90 or something like that. So
yeah, I did awful this year. I'm embarrassed. In fact, I had two guys I picked to win, wound up finishing dead last.
Oh, I have a couple of them too.
I want to go back to full pull bets quick. Brian Steffen says, join late. What are the chances this come down to clubs like ECI or Ship Shawana? No, it will work its way down into the more regional clubs once it gets dialed in and get things figured out. But that's what they have told me. But obviously, it's going to start with the highest level, the PPL Champions Tour, NTPA Grand National, big outlaw events these first couple of years. And then as it'll work its way down into regional and even maybe clubs like an ECI or like a Ship Shawana event. Guys, a Ship Shawana betting, holy crap, like 56 hot farms, Charles? That could be fun.
I don't I don't know a whole lot about this stuff. Like I said, I don't do sports betting. I'm not that guy, but I know it takes historical knowledge. Some of those classes that are at Ship where you're bringing like 4 rule sets together, you're going to try to get odds on that. I'm sorry, I don't see it happening. I know it's a live stream and the hope that you could do it, but the best odds maker in the world is going to look at that and just go, I don't know what to do with this.
Yep. No, it was good. I spent Wednesday and Thursday night in Broadbent, watched John Mears and Martin from the NTPA really, keep everything moving, keep things. That's a well-oiled machine, guys, moving things in and out. John Mears Thursday night comes outside and goes, hey, it's too cold out. We got to start starting them inside now. He really knows the tractors and the trucks and takes care of them and does what's best for the pullers. So it was really neat to see that behind the scenes.
Tony Weber, absolutely, that was crazy. I mean, you see one tie is that happens, but see two ties to the 100th, that was cool.
It was.
I mean, yeah.
Mark Heim says I was in 303 section. Voices were weak most of the week, so. But I don't know. I mean, they're down there just doing the best they can with what they have. The music, like I said, I didn't go into the pool much at all. I stayed out in Broadbent and kind of got a bunch of video behind the scenes. But when I would get close to Freedom Hall, I could hear it coming up the ramp, and doing different things like that. So, all eyes on the Pullers Championship. If you're a puller and you got picked into the final round, we need you to go to the website and complete your registration. Get signed up. We need to get on a big sponsor push now, and we need to get as many people there as we can. I talked to Mr. Holzhauer this morning. He's really excited. He's really excited. Esden Lane's coming. He just can't believe it, And we have names like that coming, and we're going to have a lot of fun with that Doug Meisinger versus Travis Schlabach thing, because you have to create a little bit of villain, guys, because that's what makes it exciting, and that's what sports wagering is going to do as well. Would you bet against Doug Meisinger versus Travis? Because I know Travis. He tore that tractor apart today. today to find out what happened at Louisville so he can get ready for the Pullers Championship. Like, he was worried he wasn't going to get on the show tonight, and I told him that was not an option. So I said we needed him on here tonight. So
Yeah, and we just added 2 more tractors to that class today. So be on the lookout for the Facebook page, see who else joined that class. We did reach out a couple more interest there. They just some part stuff that they're kind of waiting on. Another 2 mods signed up as well, so be on the lookout for that. Talked to another mod puller today. We'll know by the end of the month if he's going to be committing or not. So,
and a lot of pullers have told us they want to get through Louisville.
Yep, and that's like the diesel supers. You saw what happened. There's a reason why they want to wait till after Louisville.
Yep.
So, but yeah, we're the push is there. Like Schultz said, if you're a puller that got voted in, if you can get on and registered as soon as you can, that'd be awesome. We just want to know in case we do need to reach out to other pullers. So if you can't make it, whether it's parts issue, you broke at Louisville type of thing. So let us know if you can't make it. We'll fill those spots then. And we'll try to update people as we go as well on the Facebook page. If somebody does back out or is unable to attend, we'll let you know who's in next.
Adam Bauer. So Grace says Adam Bauer wants to know why we didn't say anything about this earlier when everyone was on. What did I miss? Grace, what do we? The sound, the music, maybe? I'm not sure, Grace, what Adam wants to know. Adam can come back on if he needs to. Just jump back on here. Do you guys know what she's talking about or referring to?
No.
Okay. No Easy Way on YouTube says gambling pretty much ruins it for me. People can't be trusted. The poll results will always be questioned. Some of the competitors will compromise the results. I just don't see it. I just don't.
Yeah, I really don't see it. The biggest thing, like, how many pullers are going to want to have that reputation that they're out there trying to rig rig betting?
You get to know these people in the pits, and you get to talking to them, and I sat with some pullers every night and talking to them if they want each other to compete. And the fact that, like, one of them said that, he had a bad run and he got shoved out of the way because everybody in his class shoved him out of the way to help fix what he had to come back in the class to compete. I don't think it's going to ruin it. It's the same. It's going to go on the same. It's going to go on the same as it was before. It's going to be competition. And they're in it because they want to.
All right, perfect.
So we got Adam and Tyler back on. Adam, what did you want to talk about earlier?
Well, I don't know how does he think that we don't pull against each other the way it is. So I don't see how this is a big problem, because whether you're at an NTPA event, PPL event, or a outlaw event, you're betting on the guys at them events. We ain't pulling against each other at them events, so why would we be betting against each other on them events in the same class? I don't see how that's a hard thing to understand.
Mm-hmm.
Or am I wrong on that? I mean,
No.
you can have 3 different pro stock classes. Let's just call pro stock out there, because everybody's got a pro stock. Every organization has a pro stock class. So whether you're in Bowling Green, Ohio that weekend, you're betting on the guys in Bowling Green, Ohio, or you're in Nebraska betting on a pro stock class there. Or if PPO has an event that weekend, you're betting on them in Tennessee. You ain't betting against all 3 organizations at one time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, or am I wrong on that?
No,
you're right.
Yeah, it's a per event thing is what I understand.
Exactly. So I don't see how this won't work, I guess. Or maybe I'm not smart enough to figure it out either, I guess. I don't claim to all the time. But I can tell you right now, it works between sporting events, so I don't see what's any difference. Just my 2 cents.
No, we need to talk about all of it. We need to talk about all of
Come
it.
on, long hair guy. What do you got?
Charles, are you on board or are you against it?
No, I'm not against it at all. Never said that I was. Not at all.
Do you think it'll work?
I think it can work. Yeah. A thought that went through my head, it was after you guys
said
got
it
off,
wouldn't.
is that
That's
the
the reason I
idea
got
that
back on
guys
here.
the idea that guys are going to have some way to fix this event. You guys drive. If the fix was going to be in that you had to hit 297 feet to accomplish that, you couldn't do it. So how are you going to fix it? I don't see how that's a possibility. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm not explaining that right, but to question the integrity of the guys who are going to compete, it doesn't wash with me.
I think the money that it takes, Chad's comment of saying they're going to throw a hook for a bet that they're in it for the wrong reasons. I think they're exactly right, because nobody is in pulling for the wrong reasons to begin with.
Right.
They're not going to throw a hook because they can.
There ain't a damn soul at this level that's going to do that. I can promise you that.
No. So they're in it because they enjoy it and it's fun and they want competition. They're not gonna throw stuff.
Yeah, there's no easy way, guy. I'm not sure. Making a pass with only half a tank or 3/4 of fuel needed to make a full pass is compromising the results. Severely wrong air pressure to fudge a pass.
Adam has tried making a pass without a full tank of fuel. You have no idea when it's going to let loose on you, do you, Adam?
No, didn't do it on purpose either. Like, why did do that? I was like, fuck. Did I do that for free? No. Yeah, I did. Nobody else did pay me any money to do it, did I?
But you know what? The first person that does throw an event, they're going to make an example out of, and it'll probably be enough that'll scare anybody else away from it.
Well,
I think it's going to take too much work to try and throw an event. Honestly, I think you would work harder to try and throw an event than you'd work to try to win an event. I don't think it's not. It's not
consequences for everything.
This person says when the vehicle quits at 280, that's pulling. I mean, that shit breaks, guys. You're betting on the winner.
I don't know. Your defensive end blows a knee out every once in a while. Is that his fucking fault? No, his fucking knee gave out. I mean,
it happens.
That's two, by the way.
I was just more so curious if anybody was against the idea once we got off the air, more so.
No, I didn't change my opinion, Tyler. No, not at all.
Nope.
So
I didn't mean to pounce on you, Charles.
No,
it's all good, dude.
What did you say? Did I miss something, Charles?
I don't think so. Thought I've been consistent with what I've said all night.
Oh,
Tyler, what'd you hear, Tyler? Because I want to sort it out.
I had walked away from my laptop and I had the volume up, so maybe I misheard. I thought somebody said they thought that wasn't going to work. So
no.
That it wasn't.
We might have been reading a comment.
Betting on all three organizations with one class, and you're betting on a. What do you want to say? Whether it don't matter whether it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If that organization has a poll Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday, you can bet on it. Mm-hmm. As long as you know who's in that class that night, you can bet on it, right? That's how it's going to be set up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just trying to look for the comment, and because we were reading through a bunch of comments in the chat and trying to answer everybody.
Yeah, it wouldn't even make sense to be able to bet across multiple associations anyway. They're on different tracks, different sled settings, different conditions. I mean,
oh, you know what? I think you might have heard, Tyler. I know what I think. I know what I said. That we were talking about if we could extend this to like Shipshewana, where we've got these classes with like 4 different rule sets, and I'm like, how do you handicap that, or you know, try to do that? That's all I was saying.
Okay.
Yeah, Tyler, that's what he was talking about. Like, because somebody one of the guests commented, could this go down to like in East Central Iowa or like a Shipshewana? What Clint does at Shipshewana, he takes like 4 organizations of hot farms and merges them into one class. He'll take 200 pounds of weight from this guy because he's got a bigger turbo, and he might be 2 inches of hitch height.
That's what I meant.
It'd be hard to handicap that. That's what you guys heard.
I feel like somebody'd figure that out. I mean, hell, Travis Pastrana raced a Daytona 500, and somebody gave that son of a bitch odds one way or another. So.
Yeah, but that's exactly what you heard, Tyler. Okay, that makes me feel better.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yep.
Terry.
Maybe he heard something about his hair products, so it's all good.
All natural, baby.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
That's what she said.
Hey, when's that diesel super going to be done, Bauer?
Don't have a clue.
Don't have a clue.
Trying for Hutch, but you never know.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Well, Tyler, Adam, thanks for coming back on, guys.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
Thanks.
See ya.
See ya.
Yeah, I think they thought that you were talking about that. That makes me feel better because I was like, "What is
Yeah,
this all about all of a
that's
sudden?"
what it was. And like, yeah.
Yep.
I think that'd be a tough one, but yeah, they can do it. I'm not gonna stand in the way, right?
Did Travis Pastrana really race at Daytona?
Yeah.
Yeah, he finished. He was credited with
11th or 13th or something.
Yeah.
Was that yesterday, the Daytona 500?
Yeah.
Who won?
Ricky Stenhouse.
Yeah. Should have been Kyle Busch.
Did you bet on that?
I did not bet.
Did your brother bet?
He probably did.
So
He
how do you
won
bet
10 grand twice on one on the Daytona 500 and one on something else in the same year.
now, do you bet on Daytona 500 with like FanDuel and that
Yeah,
kind
so
of
you create
stuff?
like a lineup. You pick like 5 drivers and they score points.
So it's like fantasy football.
Yeah.
I bet he paid taxes on that.
He did pay he a lot of taxes on that.
Well, guys, I want to wrap this up. I want to go to bed. So, thank you, Charles, Cody, Brent, Doug, for coming on tonight. And it's going to be a lot of fun to watch this grow. We got to keep it out there. We're going to be talking about it a lot here on Let's Grow Pulling and all of the beer money platforms. And we're looking forward to something that's really going to revolutionize our sport, guys. So I appreciate you coming on tonight. And it was great to have Tyler Slagh, Jeff Hirt, Travis, and Adam Bauer on here. That was pretty neat. That was pretty neat. So thank you for taking time tonight, guys. And we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.
See you guys.
See you guys.